Baturdays. Baturdays. Omnidog in the miniature of comics. Talk forever, get right your ergonomics. Taking questions from the chat. With a name like that, you think they talk more about the bat. Baturdays. 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 In the BatCave.
Heyo, welcome to Baturdays in the BatCave. How's everybody doing? I'm Omnidog, and I apologize for being late, but I have a perfectly good explanation. It was all Dom's fault.
It's my fault.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'll take it.
It shows what a nice guy you are. No, I am Omnidog, joined here with Kurtis from Epic Marvel Podcast. How are you doing, Kurtis?
Doing great. Glad to be here.
To see you, and Dom, of course, from comicreleases.com.
Thank you for having me, my friend. Really glad to be here.
Oh, I'm so glad to have you both here. I'm late. Oh, first, Yarna says you had me at Baturdays. So I appreciate that. That was at like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. And Munin, have a nice stream. I guess you won't be joining. That's too bad. Not my nephew, but named the same, Ryan Bragg. Hello.
The man.
Freddie, great day to be a Doctor Who fan. Epic day to be a Kurtis fan.
Thanks, Freddie.
Kurtis, are you also a Doctor Who fan?
You know, historically, I have never been a Doctor Who fan, but I recently started watching it because I'm like, I gotta see what all of the hype is about. So I'm on the second David Tennant season, and it's pretty good. The first season was rough, and these ones I feel like they're getting better and better as we go along. So that's pretty good. But I wasn't impressed with that first season very much.
Oh dear. Oh well. Freddie, explain yourself then. Explain yourself to Kurtis. If that's,
you don't have to explain. I understand. Lots of people are Doctor Who fans. They don't need to defend themselves.
Freddie's trying to convince me to be a Doctor Who fan, so he needs to explain why that first season was rough and why I should stick with it.
You know, there are lots of shows where the first season is rough, and that's just because it's a first season or whatever. I don't know. They were trying something different, and it's just what happens. But it got better.
I'm sure he has an explanation. Yeah. Harvey's here. Hey now, Harvey. Gary, welcome. William Lee, Sazmerv, Remy, hello, you amazing, wonderful people. Hope you're having a very good day. What a nice greeting. Thank you, Remy. I appreciate that. And James knew exactly where I would be, looking for Ben & Jerry's vanilla caramel fudge. I'm only going to tell you this because I don't want my wife hearing, but I finished the last one last night. So there's none left in the house. Turns out she likes it as much as I do. So there has to be subterfuge.
Oh, that's a W of a cheat day right there, Jess. It's like if you can convince the other person that you are in the right and they are also joining you, there's no better win than that, honestly.
I will take that because, as you said, cheat day, not only am I cheating with the ice cream, but I'm cheating on my wife with the ice cream. So it's double cheat. So it's kind of double.
Sure, I'll take
double
it.
Sounds like he's cheating on you with the ice cream as well.
It's been a minute since my store has had. Yeah, it's always out. The vanilla caramel fudge is, I think, it's my favorite flavor, and my store never has it. So whenever they have it, if I'm on a diet or not, I gotta grab a bunch. But yeah, Jess has Dupe, Jeff, Dom. Wait, Jess has Dupe and Jeff. Yep. Dom has Jeff, and Kurtis has Alf. Oh yeah, there is Alf. Alf sighting. Nice.
That's a cute plushie.
Very nice. And
Great to be here, Jess. Such a pleasure to be here today.
I forgot how good with voices you were. I didn't even watch that show as a kid, but I recognize that voice. Alf, how's it going in Kurtis's house?
Well, he doesn't have enough cats. I really could use a few more cats in this house.
That sounds like the real Alf. Nice.
Have you ever tried VAing, Kurtis?
No, I have not.
Ah,
Tried what?
voice acting.
Voice acting.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, you do a lot of interesting voices. That's true. Taylor is a maybe. I know Dom promoted him to a yes on the thumbnail, but and I sent him the link, but he said he may or may not be able to make it on time, so he may or may not be able to make it, but we're going to have fun anyways because I made sure we titled this with the topic that is completely broad and we can talk about whatever we want. Comics we all love. And as you can see, we already started out talking about ice cream. The chat could get me going for 45 minutes, I bet, on ice cream. Yeah, and Dom would be just as happy if we did that.
I miss ice cream. You have no idea how long it's taken to get to 60 plus degrees weather here. Or I guess I don't know what that is in centigrade, Kurtis, but it's finally hot enough to the point where I can go out now in like regular tank top or shirt and shorts. I don't have to wear jeans. I don't have to wear pants. I don't have to wear long sleeve shirts. I can just be extremely casual. And I have been craving ice cream. I have not had ice cream, I think, in like the last 7 months. So,
oh my gosh, are you suggesting there's a weather that affects your ice cream eating?
I know you can eat ice cream in the dead of winter. It's okay.
Okay. I'm gonna use that as validation.
And that comes from somebody from the Great White North too, so
That's
he
right.
knows.
We eat it all the time, all year round.
Yeah, same here. Yeah,
I
Dom.
always get berated from other people, and they say like, "Dom, it's like December. Why are you eating ice cream?" So, like, for the
So
last
here's the thing:
however many-
don't eat it in public. Just eat it at home, where no one can watch you.
Okay.
It's not
No
like
judgment there.
it's not
Okay.
like you're in Minnesota. You live in Southern California.
Northern California, but
Oh, you're in Northern California.
right now I'm in Northern California.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But normally
It
you're
gets a little colder there.
yeah, it does get
I
a little
flip-flop back and forth depending on the time of year.
okay. That sounds mysterious.
It is.
How's it going? Well, we're trying to find out. Thanks, Mart. Shout out to Gordon Shumway. Is that a joke?
Gordon Shumway is Alf's real name.
Oh.
Alf's real name is Gordon Shumway.
Oh, and that Alf stands for alien life form, and his real
That's right.
name.
Oh.
His real name is Gordon.
I thought Gordon Shumway was another one of Gordon Ramsay's like nicknames he gives to himself on the Food Network. I didn't know that.
What's up, Jess, Kurtis, and Dom for the second time for the day? Dom, you were on this morning on Very Fine Condition?
I was on this morning on Very Fine Condition because Omar is currently eating pizza right now as we speak in Chicago. So.
Oh, nice.
Wow. I would have loved to have been on that panel, but I couldn't quite justify it because, I'm going to Heroes Con and that's really all my con money for the year. I would love to be on that panel with those guys someday in Chicago. It sounds like they have a lot of fun.
I bet.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
Have you seen Blink yet, Kurtis? The episode Blink in Doctor Who.
No, I have not seen that one yet.
That is the only. Oh, I made my mom skip most of the first season. Okay, Freddy's
Okay.
he,
Okay.
I saw the only episode I've seen has been Blink, and I actually
Okay.
really liked it. Enough
Okay.
so
Cool.
that
Well, I look forward to that.
I would like to see more of Doctor Who. I mean, that was a really strong, interesting episode. But it sounds like maybe the first season's skippable based on what Freddie told his mom and what Kurtis is reporting back to us.
I'm only on the third season of the third episode of the third season. So let me see here. Blink. Where does Blink come up? Oh yeah, that's episode 10. So I've got a few more episodes to go before I get to that one.
Okay.
But now I have something to look forward to.
Yeah, it's really good. So that's the third season. Freddie, should
Yeah.
I? Depending, well, Freddie. Anytime I ask Freddie, he always reminds me about the 8 shows I already said I would watch, and I end up getting paralyzed and not watching any of them. But Freddie, where should? Did you already send me, Freddie, a spreadsheet of what I should start? Oh no, you sent me a spreadsheet of um, the actress I like, Alex Kingston. But you can tell me where to start, and I'll just watch regular Doctor Who. It doesn't have to be Alex Kingston specific. I'd put maybe 3 episodes as essential.
Essential.
Sun's out, guns out, Dom. That's right.
I am back to, yeah, I know the irony of me talking about weather and it being cold when it's only like 50, 60 degrees, but I am very happy to be in weather where this makes sense to wear. So
Ice cream adultery doesn't exist. Thank you, NFL dude. I will try to explain that to my wife. Here's Hobby. What up, Hobby? Cheating on your wife with the ice cream. That phrase will definitely get taken out of context. Yeah, and Brian's already telling James to clip it. Earth's Geomancer, thank you. Hi, handsome men. Thank you. Kurtis, did you custom bind a bunch of Alf comics?
I started that process. I never got around to it because I was trying to get a publisher on board with doing an Alf reprint, which didn't materialize. But they didn't want me to bind up my Alf comics in case I needed to scan them. That's done and gone because I think there's a different publisher who now has the rights to Alf and is looking into making an Alf collection. So I probably can go ahead and bind my comics now. It's probably fine. Or maybe I don't have to if I know an actual Alf collection is coming out.
Yeah,
I made up custom Alf dust jackets that look like Epic collections. And I went through and mapped it out because actually, if you actually read all of the Alf comics, there is continuity between the issues. And an Alf had a whole bunch of things like there's a couple of annuals, there's a spring special, a summer special, a winter special, and they all fit in specific parts because they make good use of the little the editor boxes. See issue 2. In fact, I think it's the last issue of the series references every single issue from the whole 50 issue run, and there's like editor boxes in almost every single panel. It's really funny.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know you knew that much about Alf. Was that something you enjoyed growing up, or is that something you've just recently picked up?
I mean, I watched some Alf in reruns as I was a kid in the late 80s or early 90s. And but it's definitely something I've picked up more. I'm a big fan of Marvel's Star Comics imprint, which is the all ages line that they had in the 80s. And Alf was a big part of that line. So I've had a bunch of Alf comics, but kind of more when the whole Alf joke, the running gag started. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna read some more of these, and they're actually really good comics.
Really?
They are for those for people who are just in the comic world. So much of the Alf stories they satirize the just the comic collecting world in general, especially once the show ended. And the comic was kind of free from being a merchandise tie-in, and they could kind of do their own thing. Then Alf starts going a little bit more wacky, and there's like there's a Robert Crumb spoof issue of Alf where it's like
Really?
all done in the style of Robert Crumb. And then there's like a couple of X-Men spoof issues where Alf meets the Alf versions of the X-Men and that kind of stuff. Like it's quite clever. There's a lot of really neat stuff in those, especially the last half of the Alf line.
Do you know? First of all, I'm a huge R. Crumb fan, so I would love to read that issue. Is So Marvel doesn't have the rights anymore to Alf?
Well,
I can't believe I'm
yeah,
actually being talked into
I mean,
Alf right now.
it was a licensed property always. It always was a licensed property. So as soon as they were finished with the comic, the rights go to the rights holder. In this case, it's the owner of Alf, Paul Fusco or whatever his name is. And let's see. I'm going to see if I can find. I've got all of the Alf ones. They're all under my desk because that's where I was keeping them to bind them. So I'm going to find this Robert Crumb issue and I'm going to show it off on this screen. So just bear with me for a
No
little bit.
problem. I think the answer to this next question, are you no plip plop Dom? You're probably not home right now.
No, I mean, I am home.
You are
this
home.
this is the studio that I'm in, Jean Remy. I'm trying to figure out where I can put a cute Pokemon in the background. So unfortunately, this is what I have to set up because there's still a lot of renovation that I have to do. But once the semester is over next month, hopefully I will find time to make this space look cleaner. I got something signed today that I want to put up in the back of the wall. So.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of great artists, you met somebody today.
I did. I also, Kurtis, did I cut you off? By the way, I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead.
I think he's looking for the R. Crumb issue.
Yeah, I got to meet Jim Lee today.
Wow.
And talk to him for 5 minutes, which
Really?
is, yeah, 5 minutes longer than everybody else got in line.
And where was this?
This was he did a signing at my local comic shop. He hadn't done one since Free Comic Book Day back. I want to say 2010. He did it was his last signing at our shop, but he's really close friends with my local shop owner. He did the first signing of his career back in 1988 at that comic shop, and my comic shop owner was also the person who introduced Jim Lee to Stan Lee in the mid 80s. I want to say.
Wow.
So how we got into Marvel Comics with, all of his artwork. Jim has been wanting to do a signing because back a year ago, my comic store owner knew that Chip Zdarsky's time on Batman was ticking. And Jim told him, I'm going to be drawing Batman again, and I want to do a signing at your shop. So they promoted the Batman Hush 2 storyline. And I got to, found out like, oh, they're selling tickets. I can meet this guy. And I got to meet Jim Lee. I have stuff here signed by him, but I have a lot more stories to talk about after Kurtis shows us the Art Crom issue.
Okay. Well, that's pretty exciting that you spent 5 minutes talking to him because there must have been a huge crowd of people.
There were like 300 people today at my shop, Jess.
Yeah.
The line, like we have, so my comic shop, like let's say it's here. There's like a shopping center here that has a Trader Joe's. There's a whole bunch of like food, like restaurants, food places. The line was like, it started here, at the shop. It went like halfway through. Like it was completely crowded. Like it was insane.
So is he going to be on your YouTube channel?
I wish. He doesn't. I don't think he has time for little old Dom. But we did get to. I will say that the coolest thing that he told me today, because my comic shop owner was the one who introduced me to him. Sort of like, hey, this is Dom. This person worked, at our comic shop for X amount of years, and Kurtis, he also like Jim Lee also told me because like he told him like what I cover on my channel and everything like else like that. He wanted to tell you and me that we're doing a really good job of covering the DC finest on my channel, and I thought like that was just
Wow.
the coolest thing ever. And he was like, he gave me a list of adjectives to describe the DC finest trade paperbacks too. It was like you got to run off with this word to this word to describe them. It was a magical time. I don't know how else I could just like explain the inner fanboy in me. Like 12-year-old me who's reading Justice League Volume 1 Origin got to meet the guy who drew it, and he told me like you're doing a good job with promoting our books, and I was in cloud nine, I think, at that point.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
That's
That's
really amazing.
so cool.
Yeah, he watches your channel and thinks you're doing a good job on the DC finest.
Yeah, and he also watched my Mark Waid interview and said that it was one of his apparently like one of his favorite interviews that he's watched of people who he's worked with or like works under him. And I just told myself like, you know what? If I never make a YouTube video again, I can tell myself that the president of freaking DC Comics told me that he likes my channel. Like that is insane.
Well, and like it's like you, Jim Lee likes your Mark Waid interview. So like two big names right there.
Right. That's
cool.
And I don't know what I did, in the last recent days or months to even get any reaction out of him like that, but just to hear him just tell me like, you're talking about DC, you're talking about comics, you're talking about sharing the love with all of these different people and all these books. I thought I was literally gonna like collapse and cry right there. And this was before he even like signed any of my books. Like we had a conversation about that, and I didn't know how to react, how to respond, but I'm super grateful and thankful to get to talk to him. Like that was crazy. That was insane.
That is a great story, Dom. I can't think of anything better. Awesome.
If I could show my haul that I have, Jess, because I do have stuff signed by him. I did get the first issue of Hush signed because that's it was required by if you got a ticket to the event, you had to get this signed. You also got free copies to every single one of the Hush issues. So I will be getting Batman 159 to 163 along with this.
Okay.
I got Justice League Volume 1 signed. This was given to me by my cousin when I was 12 years old. And she wanted me to, get into comics, start reading more. Because she knew that I had read Green Lantern in the past. And like, oh, like maybe Dom likes DC. I read this a billion times over. And I told him, like, when I gave him the book, I said, you have no ideas. Like, no idea how many times I've read through every single page of this comic book.
It's my favorite Justice League story. I mean,
really
my favorite run.
I really enjoyed. Like, I could not get enough of this stuff, Jess. Like, it's crazy. And also too, he said that I was the first person to get Absolute Multiversity sign, or like give him a copy of Absolute Multiversity sign. Like when he thinks about like left field turns, because Jim Lee did the story of what if not Superman ended up in Nazi Germany instead of Kansas, which is how some people say like, oh, that was the original idea for Red Sun. He drew a big old signature on the front cover, and he also told me to open up the book because he wanted to show me some panels that Grant gave him. Grant gave him for scripting and said, you gotta like draw this like insane thing. So he signed this page of of Overman and the German version of the Justice League, and he told me about the time. He told me about a Reddit thread that he read that reacted to how big Batman's thighs were, and told me about like, hey, like, this is insane. And he told me that story. He told me the way that it's scripted. He told me like when he saw the first page of, if I could show it to the people here. He told me the backstory of how he reacted when he told me about this spread page that he drew here on the front, and I was just laughing. And not only that, I'm also going to be getting this framed. If for anyone who doesn't know, you get a copy of the DC Multiverse in Absolute Multiversity, and he was very happy to sign the map of the DC Multiverse, and that is going to be hung somewhere in the back here for future videos. And that is the haul that I got from the Jim Lee, all the stories I could say. And again, 5 more minutes than everybody else did. I'm extremely thankful for the time and just to be able to talk to him about comics. I don't know what I did to get that, but I'm always going to be grateful.
Well, that definitely beats the time I met Dan Slott.
Was he cool? I've heard from people he's like a super nice guy, Kurtis.
Oh, he's a super nice guy. I just don't. He doesn't have the same sort of presence as Jim Lee. That's for sure.
I see. I'm jealous that you got to meet Dan. Dan's on definitely my list of people I want.
Oh, you're jealous. Okay, as we're sitting here,
hearing I think you got the better deal. No, I randomly bumped into Jim Lee at Comic-Con last year because he was I went to the Eisner Awards and he was there too. And just as people were clearing out, he was there with nobody talking to him. So I just went up and said hi, got a selfie with him. Didn't hear all the same stories that you did, but it was definitely a pleasure to meet him.
Oh, that's very so cool. I didn't get a picture with Jim Lee because there was a professional photographer, like Bay Area media was there to, take pictures at the signing. So I didn't get to take a picture of that, but my friend got to take a picture of me holding up the spread page of Multiversity with the signature. Got to send that to some of my friends and told them, hey, I got to meet the president of DC and he signed this. So
awesome.
The coolest thing though, I will say, like, especially for this volume of Justice League, like my cousin gave this to me when I was a kid. She's now in the States. She's a nurse in Texas. And at some point later today, I'm going to give her a call saying, hey, you remember when you gave this to me when I was 12? I got to meet the guy who signed it. And I think it's the weirdest, like, movie script that, you could write for life. So yeah, I am beyond the moon with the event and the signing. I'm still I'm trying to contain myself talking about how cool the experience was, but
be emotional, go crazy. I think it's awesome. I'd be bursting with joy myself.
That's just amazing.
What's the name of your comic book store?
Flying Colors Comics. We are the home of free comic book day. I will also be working that free comic book day. I guess for anybody who wants to, if anybody's in California wants to say hi, I'll be there. First Saturday of May, I'm going to be running the floor with the rest of the folks because I always try to help out with the shop because free comic days are also crazy.
Oh yeah.
But I am very happy that they gave me a job, gave me a home, and that that my comic shop owner introduced me to Jim. So that was really cool.
What city is that in?
It's in Concord, California.
Concord, okay. Okay, so you're in Northern California.
Right now I'm in Northern California, correct.
Right now. Do you where are your parents?
They're also in Northern California. Like I'm in their house right now. Yeah.
Oh, you are? Okay. Why did
my family, like when I say my family in SoCal, I mean like my second and third cousins who I always visit like 2 or 3 times a year.
For some reason, I thought you were from Southern California. Okay.
I think it's just because I went to UC Irvine for a couple of years of schooling, Jess. I think that's where you're getting the confusion from.
Huh. Well,
that's so cool. He's so cool. He comes off as a Southern Californian.
As someone that grew up in Northern California, I will not take objection to that because you're a guest on my show. But if I will make sure that you and I can somehow connect if I visit Northern California later this year.
We have to give you a big old hug, tell you thank you for letting me on your shows and making me or getting me to talk because it's 2 more hours of my life that we definitely need to do that, Jess.
Yeah, that'll be great. So let's see. Did you find the R. Crumb comic? Okay, I
did. It's Alf issue 36, and there's always 2 stories in an issue of Alf, and so the second story here is called Underexposed, and it's Rick Parker who draws the other part, It goes black and white,
Oh, okay.
and you can see this is actually it's a parody of not just Mr. Natural, but there's Zippy the Pinhead. So it's Bill Griffiths. And
Uh-huh.
then there's also some Shelton Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers parody. So it's just an underground comic spoof. But you can see like they got the keep on trucking pose here. And it's just a few pages of spoofing underground comics. So it's
That
like,
is
what
so
what
cool.
8-year-old picking up this issue of Alf is going to understand what they're trying to do here? It's definitely for the comic enthusiasts, the people who know the ins and outs of the comic industry, and there are so many little in jokes like that through this series.
Can
That's
So
can
that's
you
for
cool.
tell
you,
me?
Jeff.
I can't
Yes.
believe I'm gonna buy this on eBay. What issue
It's
number?
issue 36. Issue
30.
36.
My
Cool.
first copy of Alf. Okay.
You
I'm
can get
quite-
James Abel to sign it later.
Yeah, he's the Alf King. Let's see. No, I don't even know if we're actually going to get Patrick. I don't know that we're actually going to get to comics. We
We
will
have to.
try.
I brought some show and tell. So I want to make sure that I show some of this stuff off. I brought 4 very unique comics that take the art form and present it in a different way than you would typically find. And I wanted to share some of these books with you. So whenever you want to get to that, I want to share.
Okay. Let me catch up with the chat for a second, then we can go. We can go to that. This is a good question. How many glazed dozens has Dom had since he last had ice cream? Yeah, that's right. You're the one that can crush a dozen.
I
Krispy
can, and I'm
donuts.
still proud of that. I think I've had 6 boxes of glazed donuts without a single ice cream scoop in there.
Chicago's C2E2, where Omar, Melanie, Lars, Oddfell, Maddie. Am
Amanda.
I missing? And Maddie? Am I
Amanda.
missing anybody?
Amanda.
Amanda. That's right. And they're all in a panel
Mhm.
there, a near mint condition panel, which sounds like it's a blast. So they're having Chicago style pizza tonight.
Apparently so.
Pretty nice.
True Graphic from the Great White North. Also, how are you doing, True Graphic? What? You're always reading something interesting. What are you reading tonight? This is not ever happening, William Lee. Just needs to start by finishing DBZ. That is just a rumor, and it was just a reel that I let Tyler Blunt make of when he was at my house. So that's not happening. You asked me for just the Alex Kingston eps, but I can make an update on the Doctor Who list I have. That would be great, Freddie. I actually do, based on Blink, I do want to see Doctor Who, and I should probably have. Actually, it might be good if Freddie was on with Lars, and we could have a big Herkin Doctor Who discussion. And I'll talk about comic books because I don't know anything about Doctor Who.
Yeah, Lars literally wrote the book on the subject.
Yeah,
he
that's
is
right.
a literary genius on everything Who Doctor.
Peter, I'm sorry to tell you that I do not know anything about this Sabretooth War omnibus coming out. Oh, it's coming out in June. That's just a couple months away. What now? For those of you that don't know, I have 2 things. Let's see in the description. One is Dom's. Let's see. Let me go here. What do I have in the description? I have Dom's YouTube page and comic releases. Comic releases is where he is from. Comicreleases.com. Besides being an intern of very fine condition, and I didn't get a chance, but I actually I wanted to ask you both that. Do you? I'm sorry. Kurtis also is the voice behind Epic Marvel Podcast. and he also does a show. How often do you guys have the DC Finest show?
We do that once a month. We do that on the last Friday of every month. So our next show is on the 25th. Is that the
You would be
day?
correct, my friend.
Do one of you want to send me the YouTube address for that in the private chat, and I'll make sure I create a bit.ly for it and stick it in the description?
I can send you a list of a playlist of it. Yes, give me 1 second, my friend.
Well, you just need to send me the web address if people
Just
still
on
say.
Dom's YouTube channel.
Oh, it's on Dom.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought. Okay. All right. It's on Dom's channel. That's already in there. Let's see, Kurtis. I've had you on before, so I imagine I have. But Epic Marvel Podcast is a podcast. But is it on? Do you have a YouTube presence?
I have a YouTube channel as well, Epic Marvel Podcast on YouTube, but and I put a few of my episodes up there. I just use that I have stealth unboxing live streams where I just don't announce them. I just like, oh, I got a package in the mail. I think I'll go online and open it. It's like whoever happens to be online at the time joins me for that.
Those are fun.
Yeah, I'll probably do one tomorrow because I've got a box waiting for me to open up now.
Okay, why don't you? How about if you put in the because I have been looking on my bit.ly real quick, and I did not see my bit. I didn't see right away Epic Marvel Podcast. So
okay, I'll send you.
Yeah, that'd be good. So I can create it for the description. I want to make sure people know how to reach you. Does anybody have an opinion on the Sabretooth War Omnibus to help Peter out? I don't even know what it covers.
Yeah, I do, but it would be the same thing I talked about on the stream earlier this morning. So.
Oh, did he ask you the same question?
Yeah. I think he wanted your opinion on it, which, I mean, your opinions are nice, Jess.
Oh, thanks. I'm not at that part of Krakoa yet. I just got sucked into Tinian's Batman Omnibus.
Ooh.
Because I did an overview of it, and I said, this actually looks really good. There's to me, it looked interesting. There was a lot of new characters, like Punchline. I just ran into Ghostmaker, Clown Hunter. Okay, I don't know why that run has. All I've heard from people really is that it's kind of meh and mid and other words that young people use. Meh, mid, average. And I've read about half of it now, and I've found it really good. I'm surprised. Maybe I just haven't. Maybe I try not to expose myself to social media at all, and so I see a lot of. Usually, I see comments in the chat, but I've really liked it. I'm interested in finding out. I have the Joker War saga, and then the Batgirl and Nightwing Joker War books. So I want to read all that because somebody. Also Harley 75. I can't remember. Oh, it was Dean Nickel. He said in my overview of it that because at one point you see Harley get her throat slit, and then a little bit later she's like all better, and you're like, well, wait, how did that happen? And apparently it's in Harley 75. So I'm sure that's in one of the Harley books I have. And then Nightwing all of a sudden goes from Rick Grayson back to Nightwing. And then so some stuff needs to be filled in. I think the Omnibus is fine the way it is. It's in reading order. So I found it to be a good experience reading it. But as somebody that likes Batman as much as I do, I have questions. So I want all of them answered. by reading the extra books. But I don't see where all the criticism's from. I've really found it enjoyable. So that's me. I'm having fun.
There you go.
Omar's head would explode if there was an Alpha Omnibus before a Man of Steel Omnibus. Kurtis, make it happen.
It's coming. It'll happen.
Yes.
For somebody.
Oh, here's Astonishing Melanie. Kurtis is right. They are good. I was just thinking I need to read the issue I bought for my future binding of the Alf comics that Kurtis inspired me to do issues, not singular. I didn't know Melanie was in here. That was half an hour ago. I hope I haven't lost her already. Evening, guys. Hey, Doug. Just that Amazon laptop book prop you talked about is worth every penny. That thing's awesome, isn't it? You can read big, chunky omnis all the way down to trade paperbacks on it. That's what I'm reading the Tinian Batman omnibus on, and it is no problem. Yeah, I thought he lived in SoCal too. Apparently not.
Interesting, because I live in the East Bay Casa. That is where I'm stationed, and
Your station.
it just got to weather where I can actually legitimately go out and enjoy myself in a nice tank top or some shirts.
This is your Jim. This is during your Jim Lee. Amazing. Yep, he said that. Cool. How can one be sad when this trio is showing us peace and love? That's right, artist formerly known as Jesse Say What. I'm not sure I understand this one. What's divine right? You got to talk to Jim Lee for 5 minutes.
Divine Right is one of his DC titles.
Divine right? Is it?
Yeah, I think that's the joke. The fact that you haven't heard of it.
Oh.
He wasted all that time talking about Divine Right.
Okay, so we already talked about how he's a big fan of the DC Finest.
I also want to say, Derek, he told me that the DC Finest line is doing well. So I have no qualms anymore about this line being canceled anytime soon.
Oh, that's so good to hear. Because I think that is the only way I think I'm going to get my Batman by Neil Adams.
Batman.
Yeah. The beginning of the Bronze Age Batman, right? And Superman. I bet that's the only way I'm going to get it. Everybody's congratulating you for your Jim Lee. That's awesome. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
A lot of love. A lot of love for you.
I'm humbled.
Yeah. That is awesome. It really is awesome. I don't know. Did you tell him to watch you tonight on Omnidog's Vault, or did you forget that part?
I think I got shooed away after I got to like the 5-minute mark, but who knows?
Just you watch. If they ever relaunch Wildstorm, Dom's going to be writing the premiere issue of each series. Hit the like button. Thank you, Jaggernaut. And Phenomenal AC also said that. Dom wore the tank so he could flex on us, but that was a good flex. That was a nice flex. I like Multiversity. I think it's got a lot of interesting stuff in there. I have to admit I don't own it in absolute form.
I'm waiting for the DC Finest. DC Finest event Multiversity.
Yeah, exactly. Get Dan Slott to talk about Doctor Who, and you'll have 15 minutes guaranteed. Oh, so that now we know how to get to his heart.
He just likes to talk in general. He's not afraid to keep the line really, really long.
You know, that's what I found back in like 2017, 2018, back when I think it was before it was still Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo were still considered the Batman guys, and I stood in line for quite a while. They would have somebody complained that they were being treated like rock stars. Where they would come in just for 2 hours and then be escorted out, and I was like, yeah, because if you didn't do that, they'd be there for 12 hours. People would be, because as it took so long because they were both super nice, and Scott Snyder in particular would talk to everybody. And so it's not like he would just whip it out and then you'd be moving along. I told him, how much the Batman run meant to me and what I liked about it and this and that. And he was, he's one of those guys that will talk to every fan, and it was really nice. So they're not getting treated like rock stars. They have to control their appearances or it would get out of hand. Go to Free Comic Book Day, get Dom's autograph. Right.
I don't know what I would sign, but I'd be honored anyways.
Kane, May 3rd is Free Comic Book Day. Okay, that's good to know. Hey, Kenny, what's
Dom,
up?
you should sign copies of Multiversity.
Yeah.
You just say, I met Jim Lee. And then sign your name to it.
Yeah. Back when we, Tom, when you get to meet a creator you admire and they turn out to be very friendly and appreciative. I remember when the Minister of Comics and I, back when he was actually on Baturdays, 2021 was when we had a lot of interviews. And I think maybe in 2020 also, because Cy Spurrier had his hair up in like a do-rag type thing.
Yeah, I remember watching that.
Yeah, it had gone. He couldn't go out for a haircut. It had gotten so unruly. Every single one of those creators was super nice. Could not have been nicer. We had like Greg Rucka, Rom V, Cy Spurrier, all these different guys. I feel like we did 12 or 13 interviews. They were all the nicest guys, and just Mark Waid was nice, but he had a time limit because I think at the time he was trying to do humanoids. Maybe he was in the middle of the humanoids superhero stuff. I can't remember, but he was so busy. But he said, I can only give you 20 minutes, and he stayed for 45, and he was super pleasant the whole time. So he's always been a great guy. Yeah, get all absolute Multiversity.
So cool.
Here's a question about your college. UC Irvine is on the quarter credit system, isn't it?
It is. A lot of my buddies just got out of their most recent quarter semesters. Like finals finished 2 weeks ago for some of them, and I got to see some friends back last Sunday, which was nice because I needed to get out of my house because I was like, man, I've been working for I had spring break, and I think everybody else that I knew was also on spring break, and I needed time to myself. And I finally went out today and then last week to go see some other friends. So I need human interaction sometimes.
Really? Not me.
Fair.
Who's your favorite NBA player, Dom?
Ooh, that's a great
While we're on the subject of Dom.
Favorite NBA player aesthetically right now would probably have to be Nikola Jokic. I hate the Nuggets, but every single time I watch the guy, I'm just like, I don't know how he does. He's this, he's a 7-foot guy. He just became the first center to average a triple-double in an NBA season. For those who don't know, it's very hard to get double-digit stats when you score, you rebound, and you pass the ball. The guy can do it all, and I always marvel myself at watching him every single time he goes on the floor because I know I'm watching something special. So I have utmost respect for him, even if I hate his team to the very last fiber of my soul. For regular NBA player, though, PJ Tucker is one of my favorites. He has a really big sneaker collection, and as a stat head, He grades really well in certain analytics. He's really good at shooting corner threes, and he's really good at switching on defense. So those are my two favorite NBA players to watch.
Oh, Amanda's in Chicago, not Melanie. Well, shoot, I would have had you on the show too, Melanie, if I had known. I thought you were all there. Here's a question that I can answer. Has anyone here read Batman Reptilian? James, if you could, can you find my review of Batman Reptilian? It's not a popular opinion. I liked it, but I know a lot of people probably didn't. But I also lead the review with, Batman's going to take on whoever the writer is. Batman will be different each time depending on who the writer is, and that's a very Garth Ennis version of Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I actually liked it, but I also know that some people didn't.
I had a lot of fun with the title too, Jess. Like, I thought it was like super weird, but I'm like, you know what? I can dig it because it's Garth Ennis writing it. It's a weird, different version of Batman, and Liam Sharp also drew it. I love his art too, so it hit all the right notes for me. I know that it didn't for everybody, but I know that it hit well with me.
Well, as long as you and I liked it, that's all I care about. There you go, Arjun. Two of us liked it. I can only assume that Kurtis hasn't read it because it hasn't come out in DC Finest yet.
That's right. Wait for Batman Reptilian DC Finest. I haven't even heard of it at all. That's how much I pay attention to DC news. Sorry, Jim.
That's fair enough.
Oh, wait a sec.
Does he turn into a dinosaur?
What? Yeah, it's dealing with him and Killer Croc, right?
Mm-hmm. Killer Croc.
Apparently, I've got my facts completely wrong. They're not on a panel. I thought they were on a panel. Just get it right. So
they're doing a meet and greet, I think. So I didn't know if it was in addition to the panel or not, but maybe it's just the meet and greet.
Oh, they're not on a panel. Okay. I got that. I'm not there. I'm in my craft room. Well, I got it all wrong. Wow. Good thing I got fact checkers in the chat. And True Graphics reading. Oh, nice. Jamie Delano Cellblazer. Very nice. Okay, here's a good question from Jaggernaut. And I believe Kurtis can cover this. I ordered it because it's this is the Humanoids book, right? I ordered it. It's pricey, so I could only get it. That's all I got, and it hasn't come yet. But I know, Kurtis, you have it, right? And why don't you run over this?
Yeah, I have it. It's I don't have it with me. Otherwise, I'd show it off because it has some really, really beautiful art. Now, Kaza is a European illustrator, a comic creator who's been doing comics for decades, and he's not one of the founders of like heavy metal, but his work appeared pretty quickly right off the bat in the original French version of heavy metal, and not a whole lot of his stuff has been translated and brought over to North America, as far as I know. But this is a huge book. It's like 500 pages, super thick. It's an ongoing series that he did over decades. He would do like one chapter serialized every once in a while, and it is about kind of a reality in which the world has stopped spinning, and so half of the world is in light and half of the world is in dark. And it's a fantasy, so that explains why gravity, there's still gravity. That's just not part of the story. You just have to kind of accept that. And there's battle for resources, and there's like magic and stuff like that. And it fits in so many cool little genres, like subgenres, and blends them all together. So you have fantasy, and you have science fiction and adventure and swords and sorcery and all of this kind of stuff all kind of mixed together. and his artwork is very reminiscent of people like Mobius, if you like his work, which a lot of people do. And so I think it's worth to pick up. It's a fun read, great storyteller, and stuff that just hasn't really been seen in North America before.
Good. I'm excited to get it now. Here are the various addresses: Domovic's YouTube, comic releases, Kurtis Epic Power Marvel Podcast YouTube. Oh, Facebook page, Kurtis Epic Collection Speculation, Discussion, Admiration, and Obsession Facebook group. You got it
So,
covered.
as the title says, if you want to just talk about Epic Collections all day with us, go to that link, and that's all we do is talk about the Epic Collections.
They got
It's
cool
really
people
good.
there. I can vouch.
Yeah,
Even though I never
it's a
joined
great
the
group.
discussions myself, they are great people.
Nice. And here is, okay. Oh, Kurtis DC Finest. There's also a Facebook group.
There's also a Facebook group dedicated to DC Finest. That one's a fun group too.
Now that's a Facebook group I could get into joining. That sounds good.
Sure, you're welcome to. You have to answer the questions, the entrance questions correctly, though.
Oh, okay. Does it have to do with Dom's favorite NBA players or anything?
Well, now you know the answer. There you go.
Answer to it, yeah. I'm still waiting for my copy of DC Finest Team Ups Chase to the End of Time. Okay.
Oh, that's too bad. It's been a few weeks now.
Yeah,
yeah, 3 weeks, I think.
I got something today that had been holding up some orders. So they just sent it separately and sent all the orders this Doom.
Sanford Green and Jonathan Hickman.
And it's quite gorgeous. Hickman and Sanford Green. I didn't get a chance to pick up the one shot because it sold out immediately, and I saw that it was going for ridiculous prices on eBay. So I was really happy to see that they came out with the Treasury edition, and it also has Fantastic Four 583, Hickman's 583, and then Runaways #1. Runaways, is that? Wait a sec. Who wrote Runaways?
The very first one? That has nothing to do with Dr. Doom.
It was the Secret Wars Runaways. Doomed You.
Oh, okay.
The writer, N.D. Stevenson. Oh, artist, Sanford Green. Yeah, it's like a Secret Wars Battle Zones type thing.
Right.
So it all has to do, it's all doomy stuff. Everything in it. So, yeah, I was happy to get those. William Lee loves that Kurtis is opening packages at like midnight or 1 a.m.
Yeah, I'm on the West Coast, and so when I'm opening packages, I'm always like, there are people watching like at 3 a.m. or whatever, or like in London or something, and it's like, go to sleep, guys.
It works for me perfectly though, because it's his unboxing videos are usually right after class ends for me. So it's like, oh, I can just chill in bed, watch Kurtis talk about comics, head to sleep.
There you go.
It's perfect.
Wonderful.
Perfect.
Fall asleep to my very sultry voice.
Is the Tinian Batman Omni a good jumping on point if you haven't read any Batman before?
I think it's a lot better if you're looking for, I don't know what you want to call it, like your standard fare Batman, if that is even a thing at this point. If you weren't high on Tom King's run, it definitely goes with a formula that more people are familiar with, even if the characters are brand new, even if a lot of the supporting cast are characters that you've never seen before, like Jess has mentioned with Clown Hunter, Punchline, and those and whatnot. So I think if you're looking for something that is a lot more up your alley in terms of like, hey, we got a cool superhero comic with also fantastic art by Jorge Jimenez and Gilla March, both of who split time in the book, I think it's definitely going to be a Batman run that you can find enjoyment in.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. Brave Boys. I actually like the Tinian Detective Comics run more than his Batman run. Okay.
That's a very popular opinion. I think part of why people were expecting a lot more is because like you had really great character moments and family building moments in Tynan's run where you get to see, hey, like this is what Batwoman's doing, this is what Cassandra Cain is doing. You have the rebuilding of Tim Drake after the New 52 sort of messed him up, and Tynan was returning the character to somewhat of his pre-Flashpoint form when he was a Red Robin. I think a lot of people were expecting that out of his Batman run, and because it was just so different from what people were expecting when he was building up the Bat family in Detective, it didn't land as well with a lot of folks because of it.
Well, I love his Detective, but I mean, yeah, that's a great Batwoman book, is what it is. But I also dug this Omni, the Tinian Omni, Tinian. What? How am I?
Steve Fox told me Tynan.
Tynan.
Yeah.
That's why I always call him Tiny Onion, because I can never get it right. Kenneth is up to date on Superman and Action Comics. Need to get volume 6 of World's Finest. Yeah. Let's see. Has Marvel collected any of the Star Comics stuff in Omni or other oversized format?
Yep. So they've done the Star Wars Droids and Star Wars Ewoks series in Omnis, in one Omni together, and then they also did Muppet Babies in Omnibus. So those are the two comics that they've collected, and that's probably why, because those are both properties that are owned by Disney. So it makes sense.
Okay. Actually, Kurtis, I just realized I dropped your name in a video that I dropped today. I did an overview of the art of Russell Dowderman, and
oh, good. I'll have to watch that.
As I was, the first page, your name is mentioned right there, and I said, "Oh, Kurtis Findlay, friend of the show. Nice to see you."
So I just handed in a first draft for the Marvel art of Michael Allred, which was there's so many delays for various different reasons with this book, but we finally got to that stage. So hopefully we'll be sending it to the printer very soon, because we need to get it's quite behind. We need to get it out. But yeah, and it's a good book. Michael is super excited about it, and I'm happy to be working on that one too. So I'm glad that you got the Russell Dodderman book. It turned out really nice.
Yeah, I got the Kickstarter, and FOMO Freddy, who is still in the chat, FOMO Freddy got me to get the stickers, which I got for the David Nakayama book too from Kickstarter. And I have a couple of clear bins for my action figures, and they are getting those Nakayama and Dowderman stickers right on them. I love stickers, and FOMO Freddy pointed me in the right direction. So thank you, FOMO.
Did you get a copy of this one?
Michael
Marvel art of Michael Turner?
I did not. Oh, look at that.
So cool.
Yeah, this one is we partnered with Aspen Comics to do this, and it is like he didn't do very much work for Marvel, so this is everything that Michael Turner ever did for Marvel, all in one book. And we got a lot of his pencil work and color work and stuff, all of his variant covers, and it's just beautiful. You get really nice detailed view for those of you who like to study the pencil work of some of these artists, because Michael Turner was such a talent, and
we lost him too soon.
It's just unfortunate. But yeah, really cool stuff. Going through everything, like all of his Fantastic Four covers are in here, all of his Civil War covers, and even some recolorings like Miles Morales, of course, after but his colorists who did all of his work, was able to recolor some of these to give it some different looks. That's Fallen Sun. I love his Fantastic Four covers,
Wow.
except for he stretches Mr. Fantastic's neck, which is
Ah,
something
well,
I've talked about
you know,
before.
yeah, Curtis doesn't like that. You know that.
No, but otherwise he's awesome. But yeah,
You know,
just really cool stuff.
I
So
wasn't that. I'm not that familiar with Michael Turner's art, to be honest. I feel like I've only seen it on the Batman Superman Absolute with the Supergirl cover in the stories. I'm not that familiar enough with his art to
yeah,
to get the art book, but wow, that's beautiful.
he's one of those guys that rose to fame during the whole kind of image revolution. And he's one of those kind of cheesecake artists like J. Scott Campbell, who did a lot of busty girls and that kind of stuff. Made a name for himself there. He had his comic Fathom was basically all of that, but still an incredible talent. And he did stuff at DC for a little while, and he did stuff at Marvel for a little while. So I know that we are hoping that we can also do a companion DC art book of Michael Turner's DC art as well. So I don't know if we're able to do that or not, but I think we would like to.
I've always been super, like, when I was a teenager, like going through like the backlog of early 2000s DC, I was always like impressed with a lot of the action scenes that he drew. A lot of it, like that to me is like my favorite part of Michael Turner, less so about, like the Supergirl rendition that we got after the events of Superman and Batman, and more like, man, showing these two characters fighting, this is so cool. Like I'm getting to see that in interiors. That's what I always remember him for as a kid.
Yeah,
so I'd love to
absolutely.
see them see you guys do a DC book for that as well.
Well, I may have to get the book because, of course, I am a big fan of cheesecake. So that would be my reason. That's for sure. Let's see. Oh,
Yeah,
phenomenally.
he actually sorry, just before you go to that, he kind of toned with his Marvel stuff. He toned down the cheesecake a lot. There wasn't a lot of that in his Marvel work, but but you'll
But
still get some
Fathom
of it.
has it.
Yeah, Fathom definitely.
Fathom's what you want. That's the Image title. Image. What was that under?
Witchblade. Sorry, who was doing? What was he?
Was it Top Cow? I
Was
can't
Top Cow?
remember.
Yeah, Top Cow.
I actually have a big, huge slipcase of Michael Turner's. Now that I think about it, I must have kickstarted it.
Oh,
It has Fathom. Was that how many? Wait, was Fathom the one that had like 3 hardcovers, and the second one was impossible to find back in the 10 years ago or something?
I'm not
What
sure.
was the other? Did he have another series besides Fathom, creator owned?
Soulfire.
Man, yes, Soulfire.
Okay,
Soulfire.
yeah, Fathom and Soulfire are both included in that Kickstarter I have. That's right. Phenomenal AC. Got my G.I. Joe Volume 1 hardcover from Jess in the mail today. Nice. Packaged perfectly and arrived without a blemish. Thanks again, Jess. I feel like I'm 8 years old again. Awesome. Well, as soon as I did the overview of that, I was happy to Phenomenal won it in a giveaway a couple weeks ago. I think I did it on my birthday, March 28th. Oh yeah, Lars said that was a Hobbit's birthday, where Hobbits give gifts on their birthday. So I was a Hobbit that day, and as soon as I got the overview done, I was happy to send it to you, Phenomenal. I'm glad it makes you so happy. That makes me feel even better. I'm glad somebody got it that really wanted it. I don't think that's quite what I said. That doesn't sound like what I said at all. When will you be on Free Comic Book Day, just so I can get my book stamped? I have a stamp, and any books that I send to you, I always put a stamp As a matter of fact, Phenomenal AC, did you notice my stamp on your package? I do put my stamp. It's like the Omnidog up here in the right-hand corner, the upper right corner. Actually, it's exactly what it is. That's my stamp right there. Yeah, I can stamp your books whenever you want, Freddie. Was that Omar? Just is
I
that
asked him earlier if he could get me a person who's attending C2E2 their email, and he said he's only going to be there for a couple minutes tomorrow, but he's going to try and get him. So,
I wonder how I got it so wrong. Not only is Melanie not there, but they're not on a panel. For some reason, were they on a panel last year?
They were, yeah.
Oh, okay. Chris Kaufman, Multiversity is an under-discussed masterpiece. Sorry, Kurtis? Were you getting...
Oh, it's fine. No, it's okay.
Sorry, I thought I stepped on you. Sorry. Here's YP. Welcome. Fading Decay. Welcome to the show. When Grant Morrison has that many hits, I can see how it's easy to overlook some. LOL. PJ Tucker is a good shout.
He's a really good basketball player. I think I'm the only person in the world who likes watching him play basketball. So,
I don't know about Kurtis, but I think you might be the only one that in this chat, in this panel, that knows who PJ Tucker is. I definitely do not.
I couldn't name any current basketball players at all.
I had to.
Yeah.
When who's it I called you about?
Luka Doncic. Yes.
That's right. When did that happen? Like January? February?
I want to say it was January because it does feel like 300 billion cycles ago.
My daughter and I are both huge baseball and football fans, but we're not necessarily basketball fans. And she said, "Who is this guy and why is this such a big deal?" And I said, "I know just the guy to ask." And I texted Dom and he said, "Can I call you?" And I said, "Yes." And I said, "Kel, we are going to get an explanation now." And he delivered. He absolutely delivered and explained the whole thing to us, why it was such a big deal.
In comics term, Kurtis, I would say that the equivalent today would be if Jonathan Hickman went over. So let's just say that DC and Marvel traded exclusives or something. It would be like if Marvel gave Jonathan Hickman over to DC, and in return, Marvel asked DC for like 3 random variant covers of old Jim Lee artwork, and that was it.
Wow. Doesn't
Trading.
seem like a very good deal.
Right. Yeah, that's what he explained to us, that the Mavericks... Well, Carmelo Anthony... Wait, no, it's not Carmelo Anthony. Wait, who was the player they got?
Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis. He's not exactly just some random piece of comic book. He's halfway decent, isn't he?
He's a great player. It's just that when you have this kid who is like elevated and just so above everybody else, with the exception of like 2 people, you don't just trade that away for nothing. And it'd be the same if like, hey, Jonathan Hickman's doing cool stuff at Marvel, and then they rip up his exclusive contract, say, you can no longer work for us. You can work for DC now. Send the package, go overboard, and say goodbye. Yeah, there's my comic analogy, if that makes sense to anybody. I'm so sorry.
Hondo, what up? Yeah, you just missed a great story about Dom and the Jim Lee signing. Nice to see the cherry blossoms, though, in the city. Very nice. Thank you, James. Here's my review of Batman Reptilian from about 3 years ago. And Dom and I liked it.
We did.
Here is a good question, because I can't answer this because I don't remember it. I haven't read this since it came out in singles. John Byrne's Superman. It being amongst among the most divisive runs for the character. I thought that people really liked it, but I also don't remember. I remember reading it like in the 90s, I feel like it came out, and I haven't read
Man
it
of Steel, is
since.
that what we're talking about?
Man of Steel, yeah.
I liked it, but I am not a Superman enthusiast to know whether or not it like contradicts things or why it was so divisive. But I thought it was great.
Okay, well, that's good. There's no wrong opinions on this show. As long as they are respectful and not hate-filled, everybody's opinion is respected. So Kurtis dug it. What did you read it, Dom?
I've read all of Burns' Man of Steel. When we talked to Mark Waid on Very Fine Condition, talking about DC Finest, Curtis, I remember Mark Waid telling us that Walt Simonson had a huge pitch for Superman that got shot down, and they wanted to burn on instead. And I'm wondering now, like, what was that pitch? What was different between his and Burns' story? And there's a part of me that is going now, like, man, we could have had Simonson Superman, and that would have been cool for him to revamp the character like he did with Thor. I kind of wish that we got that. Just hearing that from Mark is, I think, my reaction to the whole John Byrne Man of Steel of it all. So that is my opinion. I really wish that I would have liked to see what Simonson had for the character and why it got declined from DC.
Yeah.
You'll have to get Simonson on your show and then ask him the question.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I want to do that so bad.
Here's Razor Ramen. Batman Reptilian is the only Just recommendation I haven't liked. My issue was with the art, though. It was so dark you couldn't see anything. Oh, and Remy also says that. I couldn't read it because the art made it way too hard to tell what was happening, in my opinion. Okay. Jess almost went to Chicago to be on a panel that didn't exist.
We got to be part of a meet and greet.
Yeah, I can't really even defend myself on that one. Lars asked me about it, and I just said, I don't think I can go. I thought there was a panel. I ordered the Kaza book too. Okay, good.
Actually, Jess, if I may ask Curtis a question.
Please do.
You brought 4 comics onto the show, my friend. Is there any way that I could see one of them? Because I am very, very curious. I've been curious for like the last 30 minutes. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I have some right here too that I can show. Let's go.
Okay, let's see here. This is a Vertigo comic called Vertical by Michael Allred, written by Steven Seagal. And what's interesting about this is that it's stapled here on the short side, but instead of opening it like this, you open it like this.
Oh, I
and
love
all
that.
of the artwork is vertical. You have to read it from top to bottom like this.
Wow.
I never knew this existed. That's so cool.
So this is the whole story revolves around a stuntman, and so there's a lot of like falling and that kind of stuff through this book, and so he makes good use of the double page spreads that are tall and narrow, and Michael Allred likes to do this kind of thing a lot, where he shows the different stages of some sort of walk, or in this case a fall cycle. So yeah, I brought a couple of books that take the comic medium and use it in a unique way. And while the story here, isn't maybe the best, that's not the point of this comic. The point of it is the unique factor of reading it from top to bottom. And so that's one of them. That's one of the comics I brought.
Use of the DeLuca effect, which I learned from Kelly Thompson, because she uses that.
That's what that's called? Cool.
Yeah, this
is from 2003, published by Vertigo.
That is so cool.
What's the DeLuca effect again?
When you can see multiple people in the various stages of a cycle, of a walk cycle or a fall cycle or whatever. DeLuca. I wonder, where does that name come from? Did she tell you that?
That I do not know, but I can always ask again next time.
Okay. Oh, you want to see another one?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Okay. This comic is called Here, by Richard McGuire, and it was just made into a movie starring Tom Hanks. And this was originally a short story that was published in Art Spiegelman's magazine called Raw, and then in 2000 and I want to say like 13 or something like that. 2014, he expanded it to be a thick graphic novel. Now, the cool thing about this is that it's just like the movie adapted it like this. It takes place in one room. The camera, the metaphorical camera, stays in the same place on every page, focusing on this corner of the room, using the gutter as the corner of the room, and it has a fireplace on one side and a window on the next place, and it follows this room throughout time. And you get a little box in the top corner that says when what year this page is taking place. 2014. 2014. This one is in 1957. This is what the room looked like in 1957. And you go through it, and each page is a different time. And pretty soon, it starts putting little windows that are different time periods. The same camera spot, 1987. This is 1573, before the house was even built.
Oh, wow.
This is before the house was even built, and so you can see the house that's in the background, and there's a subplot about what's going on in this house. And each of these pages is monochromatic to help you kind of guide you through what time period you're in. So you can see this is the room, but different things are happening in the different time periods. And so it's non-linear storytelling in that you go through this and there's no real overarching narrative from page to page. But if you're tracking the different time periods, there are threads that go throughout each of the time periods. So what you have to do is flip back and forth through this page. It takes a little bit of effort to try and decipher where the stories are, but that's because Richard McGuire doesn't want you to read this in a standard way that you would read a comic book. This is the far future, the year 10,175. So yeah, we go into the past, go into the future. The panel gets split up into many different panels, and I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know how well the movie adapts this kind of thing, but the comic is really, really cool. Here's another one from the future, the year 2213. So I like that. There's lots of cool things, and the movie can't get this totally right because the movie, you can't skip back and forth. The movie has to tell a linear story as you're watching it. You're forced to watch it in a timeline. But with the comic, you can flip back and forth to whatever page at any time you want, and experience it in whatever order you want. And so I find that a fascinating read and a really cool use of the comic medium.
That's so cool.
That is cool.
What?
That's really amazing.
Yeah, it takes quite a mind to be able to put that together. Really neat. Okay, I got two more. I'll go through them quickly.
I don't know if I want you to be done just yet. Based on the first two, let's wait like 15 minutes because
okay.
I don't, because I got nothing compared to what you just showed. I mean, mine are just regular old comics that I love. I mean, those were two sort of I'm having an epiphany type comics that I've never even seen either of those. That's wonderful.
Yeah, I think that I love when creators take the medium and do something that you don't expect with it. And so it's like, yes, I love superhero comics, but most of them are pretty run of the mill. One of them that I can think of is the Michael Allred issue, the Dan Slott issue of Silver Surfer, where he's trapped in a time loop. Do you know that issue? And it's like, you have the bottom story going in one direction, and then a few pages later it loops around and you have to read it upside down, and he goes back, and he's caught in this loop of a never-ending story, and you keep just flipping back pages in this way until you turn the page. Like, you have to turn the page, because otherwise you'll never progress further in the story. It's stuff like that that it's just like, you can't experience that comic in any other medium. It doesn't work as a novel. It doesn't work as a movie. It doesn't work in any way except as a comic, and it's just absolutely brilliant.
Were you just describing here what you were just saying?
No, I was describing Silver Surfer, the issue of Silver Surfer.
I would use that description for here too. I don't know that you're going to be able to recreate that. That shows what a great medium comics really are, that you could do something like that.
Absolutely. And I do want to see the movie, because I want to know how they adapt it. I just can't imagine that it'll be nearly as effective as what's shown here.
Oh,
but I'm sure that Richard Maguire is making a good chunk of change selling the rights to have a movie with Tom Hanks in it.
That is cool. Very cool. And Safar, thank you for the super chat. Jess, thanks for all your great recommendations. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm looking forward to comic trade paperback Babs by Garth Ennis, releasing April 15th. Wonder if it is on your radar too. I think you might like it. I am not familiar with that. Let me go to, what is a place online that tells us about upcoming books? There it is, comicreleases.com.
If it's not there, I will add it.
Let's see, Babs by Garth Ennis. What's next week? That's this week. Let's see, 15th, 17th, 22nd. Wait, no, today's the 12th, so it would be 16th. Ooh, Lady Mechanica. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Sure.
I am not seeing Babs. Maybe because it's a trade paperback?
Hold on, Jess. I'm going to refresh the page. I'm so sorry.
Safar, we're getting it added as we speak. It's getting added to comic releases. Nice. So I should refresh?
You should refresh, my friend.
Look at how did you do that so fast?
You gotta be quick on your feet with comics, because they changes all the time.
Let's see. Skin the Well, Patra.
Although next week it does look like Lady Mechanica got pushed back a week, so it's now the 16th of April.
Wait, that was last week. It's being pushed. When did it get pushed to?
It's the 23rd of this month.
Oh, okay.
At least according to Image.
Wolverine. Babs by Ahoy. Okay. I love Ahoy. What? Let's see. A savage sword and sorcery parody from the co-creators of Preacher, The Boys, and The Punisher Soviet, Garth Ennis and Jason Burrows. A hilarious sword and sorcery parody from the acclaimed creative team behind Crossed and Marvel's Get Fury. Meet Babs, a barbarian thief, and bury the world's worst enchanted sword. Okay, I'm sold. That looks fun. Jason Burrows. Their plans are interrupted.
Yeah, he did the Get Fury 6-issue series with Garth Ennis too. So
right.
Oh, that was a good series.
I did enjoy that series too.
Okay.
But it's also like, if it's a war-related comic by Garth Ennis, I'm also like, I'm probably going to enjoy it more often than not. So,
yeah. Thank you, Safar. Thank you for that. That's on top of my radar now. I appreciate that. Here's Lethal Lucha. I haven't seen you in a while. Yeah. How's it going? Phenomenal AC. Sasmer. The Phenomenal AC, thanks for reminding me. I just checked, and I've got the Daredevil by Nocenti Omni that I wanted Jess's birthday stream. Thanks, Jess. peace and love. You're welcome. There's somebody else. Sasmurf really wanted that, so I'm glad you could win it, Saz. Here's Harvey yelling at me. Is Jess really agreeing to watch Doctor Who, which has over a dozen modern seasons, while he still hasn't caught up on 17 episodes of Stranger Things? I agree to a lot of things that I forget about eventually. Regardless if you like it or not, Tinian's Batman, like King's, does set a new foundation for Batman's lore and future stories. I agree with that. Are there enough stories for a Spider Ham omnibus?
Yes, there are actually. Yeah. All of his classic 80s series fits in maybe 1.5 complete collections. And then he's got enough modern stuff to round it out to bump that up to an omnibus length stuff book. I'm sure that you could get that.
Okay. Here's AS. Welcome, AS. Good to see you. Here it is. Marvel Art of Russell Dodderman Overview, aka the book I made Omnidog by. Yeah, you made me buy the book and the stickers. FOMO Freddy. Yeah, there it is. Thank you, Freddy. Yeah, I'm the stuff that I'm a really big fan of Russell Dodderman's that was reproduced were those covers where there are, and I didn't even pick up on it until I was overviewing the book, where he has several iterations of the character on the cover in the same pose, but with different costumes. And I hadn't picked up until I saw them all together that they were the same pose. And I love those covers. I have a couple of them. I have the Scarlet Witch one and Rogue and the Emma Frost one. But that book is beautiful. Looking forward to the Michael Allred one.
Good.
And I love the David Nakayama one. No regrets on wasting your money. You did not waste my money. You spent my money. I was not a waste. I love the David Nakayama. I did an overview on that, and I keep meaning David Nakayama is actually a super sweet guy, which you must know, Kurtis. And he responds to me on Instagram and Blue Sky, and I need to post I should post that video on Instagram, and I need to show him the latest covers of his that I purchased, because I am a sucker for Nakayama's covers.
The Cheesecake Factor.
There it is. Know me well. Yep. Hamilton Books has that Muppet Babies Omni for $30. The dust is getting pretty thick on them, I'm sure.
Yeah, that was such an odd thing to make into an omnibus. I'm not exactly sure why they chose to do that, but it can't have been a big seller. They're still trying to liquidate those books after all these years.
I'm holding out for the Marvel Art of Frank Robbins.
Frank Robbins, yeah, I don't know that that'll happen.
Did he do much Marvel art? I was only familiar with his DC stuff.
Frank Robbins did Invaders. I think that's probably what he's best known for.
Okay.
In the 70s. And various different one-offs after that. I can't remember if he's worked what else he worked on. Maybe he did some issues of Captain America or something as well.
I think it's a pretty good pull. You got Invaders. Nice. Pencils of Michael Turner are way better than their final form. Really nice stuff.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that. I love looking at his just raw pencils. Really nice stuff.
I think I would also say the same for Jim Lee, Marcelo, because I really enjoy a lot of like his rough pencils and the sketches that, especially over the pandemic, Jim Lee did a whole bunch of like pandemic sketches to help people out, and did all that stuff. And I'm just like, man, I just wish I could get your art unwrapped and not worry about another thing. So those two definitely, and I agree with you, Marcelo, for sure.
Yeah, I have I guess I don't know if it's called a director's cut or whatever of All-Star Batman #1,
Mhm.
and it's just his pencils,
Mhm.
just the whole thing, and it's great.
Mm.
Oh, I bet that is great. Were there no word balloons, so it was probably perfect?
Oh man, I can't remember if they put the word balloons on there or not. I'll have to dig
That would
that
be
out and
too
take a look.
bad if they included the writing, because
Yeah,
Uh,
very
hard.
true.
Busty girls, I'm late to the party, but somehow right on time. Yeah, if it's an Omnidog stream, I've got your cheesecake. Fathom is going in the Omar box tonight. Yeah, I think it probably is. I'm gonna have to go check it out.
What's the Omar box?
That is a real box where I have. Oh, actually, I need to talk a little quieter. That is where I would have my Milo Monera stuff,
Okay.
Bruna, Fathom. Apparently, it all goes in a box. It's sealed, but I'm gonna have to unseal it to get Fathom in there, and it's got Omar's phone number on it, and it says, "In the event of my death, call Omar. Do not open this box." And he's supposed to come up and dispose of it so that my wife doesn't see it.
which
Okay.
means that you need to get Lars on that stream too.
On the
Opening of the death of your box.
Lars would be good at that.
Oh, 100%. Like how we had it a couple of Saturdays ago where people were asking him questions about Lucius figures and what his favorite ones were.
Was that the stream I was on with you guys?
Yeah, it was with me, you, and Kurtis a couple weeks ago.
I don't remember the figures one though. I remember.
I'm speaking in cryptic language. Yes, he was talking. People were asking him what his favorite.
Okay, got it. Yeah, well, she's kind of my upper management has sort of gotten numb to my statues. Although that's the first thing people who come down to the BatCave, men especially, that's the first thing they notice, my statues, and I'm like, those are just comic book characters. I'm like, what's the big deal? But apparently, they really stand out, so to speak, to people who haven't seen comic book characters. But I feel like upper management just doesn't even pay attention anymore. But the stuff in the box, I think, definitely would need Omar to get rid of it. Yeah, I'm not interested. Although I'll be gone, I'm not interested in having upper management find out that way. Kaza is fantastic. I have a collection of his older stuff already, and the new hardcover on the way. Jasper Jubenville did a Kaza tribute short comic in a French heavy metal tribute anthology.
Nice.
Yeah, you heard that too, Kane, right? Yeah, we know his text tone.
That they do.
How does the paper in the G.I. Joe hardcovers compare with the soft covers? Are they the same paper? I heard the soft covers are super lightweight. I don't know about the soft covers, Spooey. I did look at those. I did pay particular attention to the paper in the G.I. Joe hardcover that I overviewed, and I didn't feel it was flimsy at all. I felt it was substantive. I felt like it wasn't newsprint. It wasn't glossy. It wasn't matte. It felt like it was. I don't know how to explain it. but they didn't feel flimsy at all. They felt the pages felt solid to me, and the colors looked good on them. And if you watch my overview on it, which I think just went up last week, I pay special attention to the paper, so you may want to check that out. It's not super lightweight in the hardcovers.
How does it compare to like Omnibus paper?
I would say it's a little lighter than typical Omnibus paper. Let me just grab a random Omni, because actually a lot of these are glossy. Yeah, this one's glossy, and so, well, yeah, this feels a little thicker. I just randomly pulled the Green Lantern Silver Age one, and it is glossy, but I mean, you can see through it a little bit. I'd say the glossy paper is slightly thicker, but it's not flimsy. I felt like it. That's one thing going into it. For some reason, I'm not even a G.I. Joe fan. I didn't recognize any of the material, but I felt like the compendium could have an issue with lightweight paper, and so for some reason, I don't know why I felt that way, but I thought it was actually reasonable thickness, and the colors held up well, I thought.
Should have backed up the G.I. Joe Kickstarter, because a friend of mine told me he's a really big G.I. Joe fan and really big Transformer. Like, he's read all of the stuff like through IDW for Transformers. He's a super big fan of those two, and he told me that like the Marvel stuff from G.I. Joe was like considerably better than the early Transformer years for Marvel. And if there was any Kickstarter to back, it was the G.I. Joe one. So I'm now regretting, like, because I do want to read a lot of that material. I will never be able to get it.
Well, it's still available if you want to go to Organic Price Books and use code Omnidog. Both color compendiums are there, the Cobra one and the Joe one. And if you buy 4 copies of the compendium, you get 5% off shipping them all together with code Omnidog6. So there you go.
Yay! Seamless.
Seamless, right?
9.5 out of 10.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh yeah, you put 3 stamps on the Daredevil by Nocenti Omni. Thank you. Yeah. I think. Wait. Phenomenal. Oh, they're right. It's on the top of the box near the label. AC. If you still have the box that it came in, I put my stamps. I put like 3 or 4 on there. Depending on the kind of box, sometimes the ink, it doesn't press. If it's super corrugated, I can't get a really good stamp on it, so I do it like 4 or 5 times. But yeah, I always stamp the boxes that go out to somebody that's won. And actually, this is a good question from James. Kurtis, how does Clover Press decide on which person to do an art book on? That's a really good question.
Well, I mean, so Hank Cannells is our publisher, and he was with DC for a long time, and so he's got a lot of connections with artists and such, and so he's reached out to a ton of them, and first of all, they have to say yes. And then Marvel has to say yes, or DC has to say yes as well. And then after that, it's just a matter of placing them in a schedule in terms of how available they are in case we need to do new artwork or just what their schedule looks like, because they have to help. There's back and forth with the artists on the layout and all that kind of stuff, choosing the images and whatnot, because they're very, very involved in this whole process. This is an art book. We're not just like slapping a whole bunch of images together. We want this to be a product that is representative of their work, and so they're consulted on all of the pieces that are in there to make sure that this everything in these books is what they want to be in there, in the order that they want it to be in as well. So all of that, if they're too busy with their monthly schedule or with con appointments or whatever, then we have to make sure that we place it in, the correct order that'll allow that. So I mean, we have a whole ton of artists that have said yes, that they want to do books with us. And especially now that they've seen some of them out in the wild and see what they look like, the Russell Dodderman one really helped show what we're capable of. And yeah, we've got a good bunch coming up. So we'll have I don't think that I can say who is coming up next, but we have an artist that has done a lot of variant covers recently in the last several years, especially related to Spider-Man and Venom. So we're going to be doing a Kickstarter on that artist soon. Hopefully really soon. We should find out in the next few weeks, I think. There you go.
And I was wondering what have you read, Kurtis? Have you read Hard Bargain?
No, I have not read Hard Bargain. I don't have a copy of that one yet.
Oh, because I noticed my Kickstarter came from Clover Press.
Yeah.
I opened it and I thought, oh, the Michael Allred book's here, and then it was Hard Bargain, and I was like, oh yeah.
So they Humanoids they partnered with us to run the Kickstarter because they hadn't done that before. So we're helping them out with that and with the fulfillment process and such. And yeah, and that's why it came from Clover. I put together that Kickstarter, but I didn't have anything to do with the book itself. I haven't read it yet, but it sure looks nice.
Oh boy, I love that book. It's we're not 4 months into the year, but that is in my top 5 so far. The art, I did post about it on Instagram, and I did a YouTube review of it, and the artist was nice enough to reach out to me both on Instagram and YouTube to talk about it. And that's always cool when a creator, not quite Jim Lee noticing your work, but still it's cool when and he's actually a very good artist.
Yeah.
And the book was so good. I was really pleased. It was one of those ones that I had backed a while ago and kind of had tucked in the back of my mind, which is my way of saying I forgot all about it. So when I got it, it was a nice surprise, especially that it was in my wheelhouse. Private investigator, 1940 LA, a supernatural private investigator. And it had so many cool components to it. I was really happy with that book. That's definitely in my top 5 so far this year.
Oh, good. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, here's a question for Kurtis. Any idea what's going on with Craig Yo lately? Wasn't he supposed to do books with Clover?
We just recently did a book with him. It's called Woman and Man Plus, and it is a pantomime autobiography. It's downstairs. I can show it to you. Actually, there's another one that takes the comic medium and kind of turns it on its head. But it's an abstract, absurdist pantomime comic biography of Craig Yo's life. So, do you know who Craig Yo is?
I do. I feel like, let me see if I can pull this. I feel like I read books by him. Is he a comic book historian, or am I getting that wrong?
Yeah, I mean he's worked in so many different facets over the years. Working in film, working in television and such, and working with comics. And he is kind of a historian in that he loves the golden age, the obscure golden age stuff. So he's done a lot of compilation comics where he's got he takes, like, based on a theme, he'll take a bunch of random, usually public domain Golden Age comics and put them all into a nice collection. So he's done stuff, a lot of horror comics and stuff on that kind of theme. He did a book on old pirate comics for us a number of years ago, and so most recently he did that book, Woman and Man Plus, which I think came out just before Christmas of last year. And but yeah, I don't know if he's doing more books with us or what. He kind of has an alternative schedule. He marches to the beat of his own drummer, and so it's hard to nail him down to actually do stuff and get stuff done. He's very busy and has his hands in a lot of different projects. I think he's doing other books with like IDW still. Some of those compilation books still. He lives in the Philippines also, which makes the time difference just makes it hard to communicate back and forth.
Did you want to go get that book and show it to us?
Yeah. Yep, you bet. I can do that.
I'd love to see
Bear
it.
with me.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. James took over again.
Al, I can't believe it, man. I gotta get something good for my profile pic. I don't think mine is anything like that. It should be a picture of my dog, but I don't think it is. Lionheart's. Go ahead.
I also don't think that like I've seen you turn off your camera, Jess. It's usually just like you leaving, and then you just the background is on.
Honestly, I don't know how to do it.
There's a button that says stop cam at the bottom of these streams. You just use that.
Oh,
and
stop cam, like where the 3 dots are? Let's see.
Or just do. Actually? Oh my gosh. No! No! What have I done? No! Just, what have you. Oh, there we go. Okay, I saw the picture. That's all that matters.
Okay, that one.
Yeah, that one. I'm so sorry.
That looks good. Yeah, I know. I removed myself from the stream. You mean the stop cam button that's right there?
Yes, that's what.
Stop cam.
Mm-hmm.
That one, right?
I apologize.
No, it's not your fault. I'm the one that went to the wrong button. But that's good to know that I have that. That's good to know. Okay.
Okay. I got this. The Kickstarter, if you back the Kickstarter, comes in a nice slipcase with a die cut.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that's nice.
It's got some naughty images in this book. Am I okay showing this on your live stream?
Yeah, it's fine. It's
okay.
fine.
So right on the cover, 2 really weird naked people. Woman and Man Plus. I was saying this is the one by Craigio, and it's a absurdist pantomime autobiography of Craigio's life, and you have to kind of guess what he's talking about because you kind of have no clue. But this Craigio doesn't actually draw comics much himself, so this is kind of the first stuff he's done in a long time, actual published stuff that he drew. But yeah, it's just bizarre, so weird, right out of his weird mind. And
I don't think that you needed to worry because I'm not sure anybody could tell any of these people are naked or not.
Yeah, well, some of them are more obvious than others.
I guess maybe, but I think it's probably fine. These are amazing images.
Yeah, he is a fantastic cartoonist. Has such a weird sense of humor and a bizarre mind, and it comes across on every page here. It's all black and white, so it's all just his kind of his raw pencils that we scanned in to create this book. He did ink some of this, some of his inks here, but yeah, it's we were the printer we use is very sensitive to, like, the printer doesn't like to print erotica or that kind of stuff. And so we were like, well, is this going to be okay? And so the contact that we were talking to was like, well, yeah, it's abstract enough that we'll do this for you.
Oh, wow.
So there you go. It's out now. You can find it in bookstores. You probably can't find it in bookstores. You probably have to order it from Amazon or contact your local bookstore or go to Clover Press and check that out. But yeah, Craig is really proud of this one. He put his heart and soul into it, and he's super happy with how it's got a glossy cover. You can see the gloss on the cover there.
Mhm.
Yep.
And did he
It's a
color?
weird one though.
Did he color it himself? That front cover?
No, he did not color the front cover. He had a friend of his color that. I don't
Hmm.
know the friend's name. Oh, Kerry Callan. Kerry Callan colored it. Kerry Callan also has a weird sense of humor. He's the one who does funny comics online about the Justice League, like making fun of Aquaman and stuff.
Oh, I've seen those. Those are hilarious.
They're so funny. Yeah.
Okay. So there you go,
Oh,
Cycle.
that's the wrong way.
Nice. Oh, I love a good die cut cover. This is not ESPN, Lionheart. We're Luca's in the right place.
He is with the Lakers, and that's all I care about.
Right. Burns scaled down Superman's powers and got rid of Crypto and Supergirl. A lot of folks did not dig it. Now I remember that. I thought John Burns' Superman Man of Steel run was good, but the Triangle era was better. Oh my gosh, I'm way behind. I really like Burns' Superman. It does have a very middling issues and some bad ones as well, but I still enjoyed it, and it leads Super Great into exile. Oh, and Phenomenal found the stamps. Good. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that I'm so far behind. I thought I was caught up for some reason. I think Burns Superman is most notable for providing the foundation for following creators to build on.
Well, it was really DC's like first time and shot of actually like revamping and starting over from scratch with particular characters. You know, Superman and Wonder Woman are I think the most notable of the post-crisis revamp, because Batman technically didn't get one, but Byrne wanted to do what he could do on Superman, and he was able to do that in a Man of Steel run.
Wade also told Justin Taylor he had a super secret, unique Superman idea he wanted to do. Wonder if he got to do it on World's Finest or still saving it. So next time you talk to him, Dom, you can ask him.
Wade will be back on my channel sometime in June. That I do know.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Here is awesome. Here, the movie wasn't very good. It was too long and lost me.
Oh,
I believe Art Spiegelman has a PBS special coming up soon. I have a lot of those Raw books.
He is such an interesting person. Just so, yeah, what a life he's led. An amazing body of work that he's put out as well. Just an incredible person. Yeah, I'll be interested in watching that.
Yeah, me too. Hondo has Vertical signed by the Allreds. That's cool.
That's great.
Here worked as a comic, but not as a movie. A Robert Zemeckis experiment that might have worked as a short, but not as a 2-hour. I haven't even heard of this movie. Making a movie out of Here was probably misguided. Honestly, even trying to adapt something like that is almost disrespectful to the medium. Reminds me of House of Leave, a horror novel where the author uses footnotes and other layout mechanics to make the reader feel lost in a maze.
Oh, that sounds awesome. House of Leave. I'll have to check that out.
A horror novel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what were we talking about for Silver Surfer Black and Pizza Dog and Matt Fraction Hawkeye? This was half an hour.
I think maybe some unique storytelling in comics.
Okay. Right.
Because
Okay.
Pizza Dog talks in those like if you follow his story, the way they do the panel layouts and icons and that kind of stuff.
That's right.
and won a couple of Eisners for it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
definitely. And that stuff is used to good effect in who's the guy that does Jimmy Corrigan? How come I can't remember his name all of a
Chris
sudden?
Ware?
Chris Ware. Yeah. Chris Ware stuff is incredible. There's some more stuff. I got I could show you some of my I should have pulled some of those as my most unique comics because he's got some incredibly unique comics. Building Stories is one of my favorites. That one is just very
Yeah,
special.
I have that. It's a big box of different sized books and everything. It's
That you
yeah.
can read it's like different sized books and newspapers and whatever, all one giant overarching story, and you can read them in whatever order you want in order to get the full story. It's just quite remarkable.
Well, here's Samantha, who was here half an hour ago. I hope everyone's doing good. Looking forward to catching the replay later. Yeah, let's go Mets and go Lakers from Booster Green, who's from Florida.
Thank you, Booster.
Thank you for the Let's Go Mets. Appreciate that. And it's fine for the Lakers also. Would be cool to see a Marvel art of Mike Mignola.
Get the Jungle
That
Book
would be
in.
very
Get
cool.
Doctor Strange. The Doctor. Sorry, Triumph and Torment.
Triumph and
that would be
Torment.
pretty cool.
Yeah, right.
DC art of Dan Mora would be sweet. He's my
Ooh, yeah.
favorite contemporary artist swimming in the Big Two pool. What a good way to describe it.
I'm trying
Yeah,
to
I
get something set up with Dan. Nothing yet,
Cool.
but I
Nice.
really, really do want to talk to him.
Earth's Geomancer knows me. Voice level goes down, risque level goes up. That is true. I asked Jim Lee about bringing back the Unwrapped editions. He said, stay tuned. Shrugs. Hopefully it returns. Who's shrugging, you or Jim Lee? Stay tuned.
Probably both of them.
I get it. Seeing your statues would stand out to me because they're expensive and beautiful.
But so are all the other books that are in Jess's man cave in his catalog.
No, you're right, Sasmer. Deja Thoris, that was an act of God that didn't happen. That would have, I don't know what I would have done with that one. Did I ever tell you about that?
No.
That's probably one that only Omnidog's Vault viewers would remember, but I feel like this was probably 2021, and Showcase Collectibles came out with a Deja Thoris statue that was,
I remember that.
yeah, beautiful, but very risque.
Yeah.
And I don't know what possessed me, but I ordered it and I had it shipped to the local UPS hub.
Oh.
So that I could get it in the house, but I don't know what I could not have displayed that. So I don't know what I was thinking. But I, as you know, well, you may not know, Showcase puts out a lot of expensive big statues, and they always have a deposit that's never refundable. So, I mean, I paid for this thing in full. I was waiting for the UPS hub to contact me, and like a week passed when I thought they would contact me. I got a thing from Showcase Collectibles that said, in effect, you did not pick up your statue. It has been returned to us. We are refunding you in full, including your deposit. And I was like, wait a sec, UPS didn't even contact me. How did this happen? I got my refund and I got my deposit back, and I also got my ass saved because there's no way I could have had that displayed in my house. I don't care how cool upper management is. She is very cool, but that would have been the limit. And it never even got to me. I never even got the chance to turn it down. It just, so I figure that was God's message to me, that he saved me that one time. Learn your lesson and don't try that again. So I definitely took that to heart.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it really saved me.
The back and forth of the no direct deposit story by Jess. That's crazy.
And they refunded me my down payment, which they never do.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know. That's saved my marriage. G.I. Joe hardcovers don't have the same paper. It's matte paper, but it's not newsprint like the soft covers. Okay. That's what, yeah, newsprint. Okay, it's matte paper. Okay. Are the G.I. Joe hardcovers getting released separately, or do you need to buy the set to get in? I know OPB has Volume 1 in stock. I honestly, here's the question answered. HCs were only available through the Kickstarter and retailers that, oh yeah, that's how OPB got it. They bought from the Kickstarter. I don't know anything about G.I. Joe, to be honest.
They won't be
they're
able to
sold
get any
out.
more if they sell out.
Right, this will be it, right? Because
Oh,
they
they, yeah,
bought
they. I'm looking at it right now, Jess, because you plugged the thing, and yeah, they're sold out.
of the blue and the red.
Yeah, blue is out, red is out, and even the Compendium 1 hardcover is out.
Ooh, there
The
you
power
go.
of Omnidog. There you go. Because I told them there weren't very many left, and they better go right there. And I actually, I contacted JP beforehand, and I said, I have this overview ready to go up, but it says you're sold out. And he's like, oh yeah, I forgot to restock those. I have a few left. So he restocked, and that's a good thing I checked with him first. Okay, so we have some more G.I. Joe. Good quality. Feels somehow old school yet sturdy. That's good. Good. Very insightful. Thanks for answering about the art book process, Kurtis.
You're welcome.
The Jorge Jimenez art book looks awesome.
It looks.
Yeah, that one's
it,
gonna be really good.
I didn't
Such a
back
good
that
artist.
one. I'm gonna be sorry I
It's
didn't
still
back.
running right now. It's still running on Kickstarter for
Okay.
for a week and a half, I think.
Okay. Oh, well, I'm glad you dig it, Phenomenal AC. I'm glad it went right to you. That's good. Gerardo Sandoval, please. Here's my overview for those of you who want to see it. Me talking about the paper of the book I know nothing about. Wish I could back some Kickstarters, but man, some of those. Oh yeah, I bet international shipping fees are like the Bone OHC looked so good. Yeah, I know that is definitely an issue.
Yep. There's no cheap way to ship anything, especially heavy hardcovers. If you're trying to get that Transformers one, it's so expensive to ship it because those books are so heavy and there's so many of them.
Kurtis has to do that on a live stream with Omar. Omar would flip to see Alf come up. Oh, that's when you left, and it was the Alf portrait profile pic. And then I tried to do it, and I kicked myself out because I didn't know what my profile pic would look like. Have I kicked myself out earlier this week, Freddie? Just push a stop cam and all the power goes out of his name. That's right, baby. Hell yeah, that book rules. I think that was the book you just
Woman and
showed.
Man.
Yo book, yeah. I should have clarified. I was wondering if he would possibly continue his Yo books line at Clover. I don't think IDW has put any out for a while. I don't think he's with them anymore. Kurtis, did you catch Tom King say on Omar's interview he has been reading the Terry and the Pirate books from Clover?
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah. Every comic artist and writer can learn so much from reading Terry and the Pirates. It is a masterclass in how to do comics. That's great if Tom King has been reading that. That's very cool. In response to the Yo question, I don't think we have a formal deal or anything in place with Craig, and there's nothing on the schedule at this time. But I don't think that we would be opposed to doing that. He just he hasn't been very
He keeps his own
communicative in that
schedule, as
sense.
you said. Yeah, he's on
Yeah.
his own timetable.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm not privy to a lot of that stuff too. So he may be talking. He's really good friends with Robbie Robbins, who is one of the founders of Clover Press, and so they might be talking about all that stuff. I have no idea.
Woman and man with slipcase. Here's the address. And without the slipcase. There you go. Thank you, James.
And James.
Wait, what? Just skipped my comment. No, I didn't. I show all your comments for some reason. Here's a good question for you both. What's your most wanted Epic collection, and what's your most wanted DC Finest? I can answer the DC Finest one, but I'll wait. You already know the answer. Kurtis, what are you looking forward to?
Oh man,
Epic-wise?
you know, I get asked this question all the time, and I never have a good answer. I really want a really nice Epic collection of the old Nick Fury Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. by Jack Kirby and Jim Steranko. I have those in smaller complete collections, but I would just love to have the Epic that collects both those runs all in one volume, and then leading into his first ongoing series. That would be fantastic. As far as DC Finest is concerned, I've got a lot of love for the Triangle era of Superman. I know that's coming out in Omnis right now, but I'd love to see that in DC Finest. I know so little about DC that I'm just happy with whatever they put out right now. There's nothing that I'm really looking forward to, just because I don't know a whole lot of what's going on in the DC world. So I'm currently in the middle of reading Batgirl, and I'm absolutely loving it.
It's one of my favorite runs ever. I can't wait to talk about that with you later this month, because it's I love Cassandra. At least the early years of Cassandra Cain, they're fascinating comics.
Yeah.
Man, that's a tough question for Epics, because it's like Marvel has put out a lot, and I think most of the stuff that I'm already interested in are like in Omni format, or they're in an Epic format that I've already passed over and read it. I know that a lot of people have been interested in trying to get the Mike Carey years of X-Men, and considering that we have a lot of those modern Marvel era Epic collections now, I do think that would be a nice way to maybe map out that entire era, get that in Epics, and then print out an Omni later. I think that would be super cool. I just having finished the Peacemaker stuff and seeing those early Checkmate issues in that specific DC Finest, I really want Greg Rucka's Checkmate, which comes directly after Infinite Crisis. So the mid 2000s, he did a fantastic run on that specific DC property. And I love it when Greg Rucka gets into the political thrillers, because I think there's not many writers, I think, in comics that I like more doing political thrillers than Rucka. That is something that I really want them to get to at some point.
Okay. Yeah, that would be good. And reading that Peacemaker one, I really like the Vigilante issues, and the Vigilante stuff that's in the Teen Titans DC Finest was also really good too. So I'd be interested in exploring more of that character in a DC Finest book as well.
Completely agreed.
Sorry, I had to leave. I forgot to take my preventative migraine meds, which I need to take at 7 o'clock. Okay. My answer would be, are we still on the Epic and DC Finest?
Indeed.
We've answered our questions.
Sorry?
What's your answer? We've answered. What's your answer?
Oh, okay. Normally, I would say the Denny O'Neil, Neil Adams, unrecolored, unre-inked Batman, but I'm going to change it.
Ooh.
DC Finest, let me see all of Sugar and Spike in DC Finest format.
Ooh.
I want my Sugar and Spike. It was
That'd be
groundbreaking
awesome.
back in the 50s and the early 60s. I don't know what it'd be like now, but man, give me a chance. All I have is it in one archive.
Mm-hmm. And on top of that, too, like
Yeah.
with the genres and them splitting all of those up, like even if we never get like a specific set of that one series, they can find other ways to throw that all in there. Just something cool that DC is doing. Like I gotta throw my hat off to them for doing that.
Yeah, I totally agree. And you know, when if you could mix genres, you could put out the Jerry Lewis and Bob Hope comics too. Those were fun. I remember those were a lot of fun. And Stanley and his monster.
Yeah, what's the one? Herbie. Do you know that comic Herbie? It had some DC art. I don't even remember if it was DC.
I don't think it was
Um,
DC.
That might have been a Dark Horse archive. I can't remember what company put that out, but that book was nutty. That character is so much fun.
I have that book and I've had it for so long. I think I got the last copy that IST was selling of Volume 3. And it's a deep pull for anybody to remind me that I need to read Herbie, because I think I bought it like back in 2017. But it was Herbie Popnecker, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You haven't read it yet? I think you should. You should spend and it's the kind of thing where you don't need to sit down and read the whole book, but just a story or two at least to get an idea of it is just really great. You can come back to it another time after that.
Yeah, okay. I really want to, now that I remembered about it. Okay. Can you guys put up a picture of the Deja statue? Okay, I'll look for it. Deja would have wound up like the leg lamp. Yeah, suddenly broken. Met Dan Moore a few times. He's super chill and wholesome. That's good. I don't mind Chris Ware. It's Lou that is not a particular fan of Chris Ware, but that is Lou's opinion. Jaggernaut's leaving. Thank you for being here. I'm going to ignore that thing about the 49ers. Forget it, Razor Ramen. I'm not putting that up. I think I read House of Leaves. Is it that one? Is it the one that finds out his house is slightly bigger on the inside than the outside, and then things get weird?
Oh, spoiler alert.
That sounds really interesting to me. His house is slightly bigger on the inside. That sounds really cool. I am caught up with Night Eaters. I've read the first 2 books, and I'm excited for book 3. Big fan of both of their work, writer and artist. I love their both their stuff. Monstrous, very talented. Which writer and artist team would you want to do the next DC Marvel JLA versus Avengers if they do it?
Oh, the easy answer is Wade and Moore, right? Because he's currently doing Justice League Unlimited, and considering that he's written and presided over different versions of both teams, I think that it would be the easy layup answer, but I also understand if somebody calls my answer stereotypical for it. I think the other team that I probably would consider doing it right now, you know what? If only for like a pipe dream, I would want Jonathan Hickman and Marco Cacchetto on that crossover book. His return to Avengers, I guess the JLA, which he's never gotten an opportunity to write, but that would be super cool if he got a chance to do it.
I would totally read that.
It's funny because I was going to say not Hickman. It's because I forgot about Spider-Man, because that is a really good book. But Hickman, I think his concepts are too big to fit in a small miniseries.
Mm.
He thinks too large, and I don't know if he would be able to be restrained enough to do a complete story in just like 4 issues or whatever it would be.
There were some GI Joe Volume 1 available at the start of the stream. Is that right?
Oh, that is so amazing.
Wow. Look at
Okay,
that,
wait.
Jess.
Yeah.
OPB does have the Cobra edition of Volume 1 in stock still, but the Joe edition and the full sets are sold. What's the... Oh, still seeing red available. Okay, but the blue...
Interesting, because it wasn't showing up for me on the search bar. So I'm glad to have been wrong on that.
I'm not. I wanted the power of the vault, man. Darn it. Hurry up and go buy it, because I don't think that once it's gone, apparently it's gone. You know, the only reason I don't put this up is because I think Dom and Kurtis are too wholesome for it. On Omnibus on Monday night, Hondo, I'll put a picture of it up. But I think these guys are just too wholesome and sweet natured for me to put this up. And here's the Clover Press DC art of Jorge Jimenez. No, wait, he did Jorge Jimenez. Yeah, he's doing a lot of this.
He's doing, yeah, he drew half of that run.
What? How did
he did like 5 years on Batman.
Yeah. Gosh, that's what I want to see, the DC art of Jorge Jimenez. I'm just going to...
You're going to back up the Kickstarter just like me, Jess.
Have you backed this? It is the DC. It's the DC art of Jorge Jimenez.
It's the DC. Yeah, this is the first in our new line of DC art books, and he hasn't done anything for Marvel as far as I know. So, it's all of his like Justice League and Superman and Batman stuff.
Okay. Oh, are there stickers involved too?
Yes, there will be stickers.
Okay, Freddie. Now I'm FOMOing you. You need to get the stickers and the book, because I am definitely going to get that. For some reason, I didn't pick up on the fact that it was the DC art of Jorge Jimenez. Oh my gosh, I have to get this now.
It's going to be a good one. Yeah, it's he's just such a strong artist.
He is. I got my first exposure to him when he was on Superboy back in the late New 52 days, and to see him grow from it was definitely like a lot less detail, more like frenetic in terms of art style, but now it's like every single line I see from him is so composed, but he still has the kineticism of everything that I loved about him when he first started out at DC. So
yeah,
good word, kineticism. Chaz, I actually have an answer for this. I've got all 3 deluxe editions of Scott Snyder Justice League. Should I upgrade to the new Omnibus? Now, Dom may have a thought on this.
I do have a thought on it.
Okay. I do know that it does have No Justice in it. So that is in the first volume, and that is the only place you can get it oversized, like in the deluxes. I'm going to keep the 3 deluxes because I already bought the trade paperback for No Justice. But if but you have the deluxe edition. So if you want an upgraded version of No Justice, which is actually a very good story, and I happen to like Scott Snyder's Justice League, is there anything else besides No Justice in that Scott Snyder Omnibus, the first volume, Dom?
I want to say that I'm trying to remember if the Drowned Earth stuff was in those deluxe editions, because I remember opting out for this. Like, I picked up the entire run in singles. Like, that was still when I was on my single issue kick, and I just wanted everything that Scott Snyder was doing because I had read his Batman run. I remember. Yeah, Drowned Earth was part of it, but it didn't have all of the tie-ins for Drowned Earth. That's what I remember. So you're getting the Justice, No Justice, 4-issue series that kicks off the run. You're going to get the entirety of the Drowned Earth crossover. So you're going to get the Aquaman tie-ins. You're going to get the Titans tie-ins. You're going to get all of that story in there instead of just the one shot that kicks it off, the Justice League issues, and then the other one shot that ends the event. We're also getting the You're the Villain, Hella Risen 4-issue series that Steve Epting drew that has the technical full appearance of Punchline as a part of the second omnibus. And you're also going to get The Batman Who Laughs, which I bought too many covers of issue number 1. I'll just say that. But you're going to be getting this in volume 2 because they moved that specific volume or this specific book to volume 2. So you will be getting more in the omnibuses compared to the Justice League Deluxes where you're only getting certain, like, yes, you're getting the entire run, but you will have a better and fuller story if you have all of those omnis in there.
So wait, Punchline's in it? In Year of the
Yeah,
Villain?
she technically makes her first. Yeah, she's got her first in Year of the Villain because Tynan writes that series.
Oh, okay. So that's where her first appearance is.
Yeah, she makes her cameo in Batman in '89, and she makes her first full in with issue number 3 of that miniseries. And I remember that because when I was waiting in line for Batman number 89, because I was a Wednesday Warrior back then, I was picking up all of my comics. There were speculators in front of my shop. There was one in a cowboy hat. There were like 3 different people there. And they asked me like, hey, what are you waiting for here? And I'm like, oh, I'm just here to, pick up my regular pull. And they said, oh, you're one of those people then. And I was like, one of those people? What does that mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you buy comics because you read them. And I was like, yes? Did I miss the point? Yeah, they were very weird, annoying people that ticked me off that day.
They were speculating on Punchline?
They were speculating on Batman number 89. And I remember that because people at my shop, like I asked my comic store owner, like how, like if he had heard about Batman 89, and they were selling it at the shop for like $100 because people wanted that issue, like for the hand of Punchline or whatever. And people were calling in like, hey, like, could we have this set aside? Like, how do pre-orders work? And because I was a regular Batman buyer, that like I'd been pulling all of King's Batman, and I got on Tynan's, and I did I'm doing my part. Like I was a Batman reader. I still read Batman. I was so mad that people were trying to take that satisfaction away from others to, sell their copy online for more money. And I've never met I've never been more disgruntled in terms of a reading experience because of those 3 speculators that I met that day.
Did Punchline even, I mean, I like her as a character, that's fine, but did that end up being a good speculation?
People sold their copy for tens and tens and sometimes even hundreds of dollars. So, but it's not really worth anything much anymore, to my knowledge.
Wait till she comes up in a movie.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
What year was that?
2009, late 2019, issue number 89. Yeah, I remember it being late 2019.
Wow, I would not have thought anything about speculating on Punchline. That is the last thing I would have ever speculated on.
No, me too. And
speculators will speculate on.
Yeah,
speculators will speculate on anything.
Yeah,
because that's the point. Is trying to get ahead of the curve in order to get the copies for cheap, so it'll be a big payoff.
And to that same effect too, with the Jim Lee signing, all the people who were in front of me on the line, like the people who got in first were part of we have a like sort of a quote unquote membership at the shop, and it's not really a membership. It's that you could donate like $100, you would be added to like our special like program or whatever as like a big thank you. And those people got their tickets first for the Jim Lee event, so they got their book signed by Jim Lee. Everyone in between those guys and me, for the most part, they were speculators. And I could tell because a lot, like, I'm just eavesdropping, trying to like figure out like a lot of the conversation because I want to chat and conversate with other people there in line, and a lot of them were like, "Hey, how much do you think Batman 158 with Jim Lee's signature is going to sell?" And they were like figuring out prices for different books that they were going to have him sign and talk about, and flipping it in certain parts of the market and how they could get the most bang out of it. And I hate those conversations so much because there's nothing more infuriating to me to see a lot of people's hard work and labor just being pushed in for, oh, you get $20 more on a book because you were there, like Kurtis said, ahead of the curve before everyone else. And I never have a fun time with those people. Those, like, working at a shop, those were by far my least favorite type of people to deal with.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's the end of my rant. I apologize for going.
No, that's fair. I get it. Yeah, I'd much rather read my books.
I agree too.
Yeah, you kicked yourself out with me and Peter. I don't remember doing that. That was just Tuesday. Huh. I'd love to see 80s, 90s Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. in omnibus format, but it likely won't happen. If Strike Force Morituri can get an omnibus, so can Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. from the 80s or 90s. That is an obscure comic. In my humble opinion. So I think Marvel has a ton of stuff they can still do.
Absolutely.
Yep. This comment is, that's why I keep skipping it. Yeah, I keep skipping that one, Harvey. You can keep putting it up, but I'm not gonna put it up. Current Cascade Batgirl run is really good. What's is that the regular Batgirl or what am I missing?
There's a current Batgirl series out that stars Cassandra Cain as the solo Batgirl again.
Oh, okay.
Artgerm did a cover for it. It's actually, you know what? It's here. Give me a second to go find it.
I'd love to see it. Oh, and after this, why don't we see Kurtis's next two picks that'll blow our minds.
And then I'll do that, and then I got to head out, actually.
Okay, yeah. I appreciate the time you could spend with us, Kurtis.
Is the Cassandra Cain series, is it, like, how far into the run is it now?
It's a couple of issues in. It's like 4 issues in.
Okay, so that's probably why we got the DC Finest Batgirl that we did. Because they wanted that tie-in a little bit. I'm sure that a lot of the DC Finest, the picks, the way the releases are in conjunction to stuff that's going on in the current world as well.
Oh, okay.
But go ahead, my friend, show your thing, because I'm trying to still find the cover.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, I got to organize myself here. I've got 2 more books. This next one a lot of people probably haven't heard of because he's a local Vancouver artist. Vancouver's where I live. This book is called Red. Here's the dust jacket. It's called Red, a Haida manga or manga. Haida is one of the indigenous groups in Vancouver, and so this is an indigenous artist. Native American for those of you in the United States. And he's a comic book artist. And so this story is a parable story based on some of their old stories that they tell about a leader who is so hell-bent on revenge that he leads his whole nation into a war where everyone gets slaughtered and such. And it's all watercolored and absolutely beautiful. And you can see he's very creative with the panel layouts here, and using like just not standard square panels. Now, the reason why I pull this one out is because when you put all of these pages together, it forms one giant image, and he has printed it on the inside of the dust jacket.
Oh, wow.
And it creates a piece of indigenous art. And you can see the black lines. And if you're familiar with the way indigenous art looks like. You can see the patterns and you can see the face in the middle of this, and then I think all of these pieces have been displayed like in an art gallery here, so you can go and see the full
That
image.
is super
But I love
cool.
that he's created this massive piece and then broken it up and used the lines. He's used all the lines to create his story, um, to create all of the different pages of his comic book. And so I think that is just incredible. I love it when artists will do stuff like this.
That's incredible.
That is so cool.
So the artist's name is Michael Nicol Yagulanis. I don't know if you can see that there. So you can look this guy up. He's got a couple of different books, and I can't remember if these other books do the same sort of thing, but this one certainly does. Very, very cool. So that's
Amazing.
that's the third book, and then the last one I have is a giant book. It's called The Upside Down World of Gustav Verbeek, and he is a comic strip artist who did comics from in the early 1900s. And the book here is the Upside Downs of Lady Lovelock and Old Man Muffaroo, and those are the two characters you see here. Lady Lovelock with her nice red, yellow dress and hair, little boner hair, and then Old Man Muffaroo, you can see wearing jeans, and he's got a big hat. The cool thing about this is that you turn the characters upside down and they look the same.
Wow.
And so the whole comic strip follows that pattern where this one's so big it's hard to hold up.
Yeah.
You read the first panel, and you read the caption of the second panel and the third panel. You go all the way through, and then you turn it over, and you read the next story, and it's the continuation of the story. So I'll see if I can find a better example that you can see on the screen a little bit better. Okay, here, let's see if we can look at this one. This book is so big. So, Old Man Muffaroo here, what does it say here? And he looks so sad, is because little Lady Lovekins has been sick for a long time. It was this way. There's Lady Lovekins going to get some water, and suddenly a lovely tree bursts into view, but it was growing out of the rocks in a very steep place, and she stumbles, and then we meet a native stereotype, and then Old Man Muffaroo has to carry a bed down some stairs, and then he has to carry Lady Lovekins because she's not well, because she hurt herself. Then you turn it upside down, and she's still being carried, and now she's in bed, and that stereotype comes back and says something. It's amazing because these words you can read upside down either way. And then they go to a waterfall. He brings back some water, and then she's jumping for joy because she's feeling better at the very end. So every page is like that. Every single page, he's got a story that continues on the upside down. And to be able to craft a story like that is just incredible. And there's a lot of suspension, just like suspension of belief that has to happen in order to make it work, because like it just is something like this is a goat, but upside down it's something different, or it's a man or something like that. But just to be able to think up that and have the brilliant mind to think outside of the box like that is just incredible.
Oh my gosh, I've never seen anything like that. These are 4 books I've never seen anything like.
Yeah.
Like I've had to flip over
I love
books, but never that point. No.
Yeah.
What is that one still in print?
I doubt it. This one came out quite a few years ago. It's from a company called Sunday Press, and they do large format old comic strip books that are usually way bigger than this one. This one's like half the size of their usual books. But their print runs are very limited because of the nature of the size of them. They don't reprint them. They're just too expensive to reprint. So, actually, James has a link for you.
Oh,
Looks
wow.
like Fantagraphics.
Thank you,
Fantagraphics maybe took
James.
it up. And
Thank you. I really want this book.
there you go. See if you can find yourself a copy.
That's really cool. Thank you, James. That's amazing.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to bring to the table. You were like comics that we all love. What are comics that I love? I love it when creators will take the comic medium and present it in a different way than you've ever seen. And there's lots of examples of that. Next time I'm on your stream, I can bring some more books. It's very
That was
cool.
great. Let's do this again in another 6 weeks or something. I love this. Wow, that was really great, Kurtis. Thank you very much. Thank you for appearing. And let's see, where can people find you when you're not here showing off your books that make me incredibly jealous?
Epic Marvel Podcast. If you just do Google search, you'll find me there. On Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. I spend most of my time talking to people on the Epic Collection Facebook group. I also have a DC Finest Facebook group. James has all the links in the chat there. And you can, if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, then you can be notified every time I do a random live stream, and I never give heads up about it. It's just whenever I have the time to fit one in. So there you go.
Nice. Well, this has been great. Thank you so much for being here, and
Yep,
I
it's
look
been a
forward
blast.
to your appearance again.
Yeah, and I thank you for the invite. I love being here on your show. It's such a great time to be able to hang out with you, Jess. And Dom, I will see you on the 25th of April
Yes,
when we
sir.
do a live stream together on your YouTube channel
Yes!
for DC Finest.
Nice.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody.
All
Have
right.
a good night, my friend.
Take care. Bye.
Let me just run through and get caught up. And are you still yelling at me about basketball?
That's something that I expect Bunk to do.
Will.
You know what? Bernie told me that somebody talked about me on a basketball stream because I was talking about it in the NMC Discord. I think pretty much the only times I'm online is like when I try to talk to other people about sports, because I don't know. I like the fandom, and somebody told me that somebody mentioned my talking with somebody else on a stream, so I'll have to check that out at some point.
Let's see. When I met Jorge Jimenez in London, I asked which comic he would like to draw. He said immediately Spider-Man.
I think Chip Zdarsky and Jorge Jimenez on a Spidey book would be really, really good. Although
Ooh.
Chip has stated that he'd never write 616 Spidey on an Amazing Spidey book. So,
Okay. Okay, Kane left us a while ago. Thank you for tuning in, Kane. Always glad to have you. No, that's what. Well, okay, yeah, but that I did not pick up on the fact that it was the DC art of Jorge Jimenez because I just had Marvel art stuck in my brain.
But he's also never really drawn for Marvel. So.
Yeah, I mean that is really exciting. I only sold out 3/4 of OPB selection. Come on, you guys. Go buy up the rest. Let's see. When are we going to get a Doctor Strange and Zatanna team up? I just finished Zatanna Bring Down the House. That was an excellent book.
I really like that book.
Yeah. Lou and Tanaka are a creative team. I want to keep going forever. More stories and arcs, please.
I really need to get to Night Eaters at some point. My comic shop has the exclusive Abrams hardcovers, or like previews exclusive hardcovers at the shop. I'm like, man, they look cool. I need to get to it at some point.
They're really nice. If you can't read manga, forget about House of Leaves. Okay. Well, I'm glad you guys have it. Oh, Herbie was from American Comics Groups by Ogden Whitney. Good to see you, Jim. Early Betty and Veronica were really good-looking gals before they became more stylized and cartoony. I'm missing. Okay. House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski. Very spooky and atmospheric. How many Omnis do you think the Superman Triangle era will end up being? That is a good question. What do you think, Dom?
Let's do the math, okay? So if we get volume number 3, which should take us to like 1995-ish, I'll say that, because it's everything Return and After. If they're going to contain everything that has the Triangle years, right? Because the original team, or the teams of Stern, Jurgens, Wheezy, and Ordray were not on Superman for all those years. I mean, they'd leave very late 80s or late 90s, sorry. If we're going to take everything up to 2001, which is when the next status quo, the City of Tomorrow stuff with Joe Kelly and Mark Millar, when that era of Superman starts, let's say like 6, 7 Omnis.
Okay.
But that's a lot of commitment, because the back end of all of that Superman stuff, I mean, at that point it was like, yeah, we need to move on to something else, because I think the original creative teams had left and they were completely different, Superman creatives that were on the book in the early 2000s. So I really only need like 3 or 4 of those Omnis. I think I don't need the entirety of 1988 to 2001. That being said, it would be really cool if DC managed to finish all that, because that would mean that's more of Superman Omnis out. Those are more years covered that I think frankly need to be, because Batman has had so many Omnis that I want Superman to have that same equality to it. So 100% to the Triangle era being all printed, even if the back matter isn't that great.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of what I've read so far in that the first Triangle era book. And now the second one just got solicited, right?
Yeah, the second one is coming out late September. Yeah, late September this year. I think it's like the 30th.
I feel like I was on that stream with you and Omar and VFC.
Yep. Yeah, we definitely talked about that book.
Okay. Jed McKay and Chip Zdarsky for writing a DC Marvel book. Dan Mora is apparently doing 800 characters for Justice League Unlimited, so no one better for the task.
Yeah, I mean, when they say when Mark Waid told me Unlimited, I mean, it was just like, yeah, I literally expect every single person that they can think of to show up. Like, talk about a pitch for a book. You're not going to say no to that.
We've had Capwolf, Frankencastle. Which Marvel characters could be the Mummy, Frankenstein's Bride, Invisible Man, and Dracula? I'm sorry Kurtis wasn't here for this question. I'm sure he'd have good answers for that. Frankenstein's Bride could be Rogue, because she's got the white thing up her hair anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the only one. Invisible Woman, that could be Sue Storm.
Yeah.
To see, mention enjoy the evening. Goodbye, came. Yeah, didn't you know you can only disgusting normies. I can't. That is so weird that those guys were judging you.
Yeah,
for wanting to buy the comic to read.
That's what I said. I was just like, I don't mind you going into a comic shop and buying whatever you want. Like, that's your business. Like, I'm not gonna be over here policing you.
Yeah.
But at the point of like you asking me like why I'm at a comic shop, and if my reason, like, yes, the reason you're at a bookstore is to buy books and read them. Like, the last thing that I like, maybe I missed it in the rules book or the rules guide of life, where the thing that a thing is supposed to be isn't the thing that it's supposed. It'd be like, oh, I buy video games because I resell them on eBay for $300. Like, okay, what's the point though? Like, you play the video games because it's the video games. You wear the shoes because the shoes are cool and you want them to look great on your feet. Same thing for comics. Like, I can't imagine a world where I'm making a YouTube channel about, oh, these are the hottest items that are on the market. You need to go out there and spend your money on these books because you might get to flip them 2 or 3 months later for $5 or $10 more. That's stupid to me. I'm sorry. Like, it's crazy that there are people who think that, and it's no shade. Like, you can spend however you want with your money, but I am here to read and I want people to read. Like, that's the most important thing, I think, anyways.
Yeah. Well, I definitely want people to read, but they need to buy the G.I. Joes from Organic Price Books.
And use the code Omnidog for $2 off.
That's right, to make me feel better about myself. Here it is, $2 off that G.I. Joe book, and buy 4 of them, ship them together, you get 5% off. Even I use my own code. That's right. I'm lining up my next purchase. Millhouse voice. Punchline is going to be the new Spider-Gwen. You'll see. You'll all see. DC was hyping Punchline as the new Harley, and everyone knows how popular Harley is.
They did the same thing with the Joker's daughter from New 52. I remember reading a lot of those like issues where she just managed to like some show up, and I questioned myself, like, why are we promoting this character? Like, it feels weird.
I remember Joker's daughter got a Bombshell statue. I contemplated it, but I'm like, I don't have an attachment to Joker's daughter like I do these other characters. That was an odd one.
Right, yeah. It makes no sense to me. Like, all the other characters, they're iconic, they're cool, they have lasted for decades. Like, Harley's been around, I think, at that point for like 20-something years, right? And, there are fans of hers and whatnot, but it's like, why are we getting Joker's daughter? Like, that felt weird to me.
Yeah. Tiny Onion's Punchline is awesome. I agree. The things other creators have done. Oh, I didn't even know anybody else was.
Yeah, Tini Howard wrote a Punchline miniseries.
Oh, she did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll give it a shot. I don't care. I like Tini Howard's she did a Krakoa era book
Excalibur.
that I liked. Yeah, I liked Excalibur.
I had a lot of fun with the book. I like Betsy Braddock. I liked her as the new Captain Britain.
Yeah, me too.
I like Rogue and Gambit whenever they pop up. I liked all of the magic excavation with Apocalypse. I actually thought that stuff was super well done. Jubilee and her adopted kid, who's a pet, who's a dragon.
Dragon? Yeah, that's so.
Who doesn't like Shogo? Leela? I love Shogo, and you got Marcus Cohen too. Like, it was a book that I liked. So
yeah, I liked it too a lot. I liked a lot of Krakoa. Is Jim Lee autograph even worth that much? Every con he is signing. Well, I don't know that that's true. I think every con he's signing, he's like back in the VIP suite, and you have to get paid like $100 or $1,000 or whatever it is. He's doing that as a favor to the comic book. The LCS owner. It sounds like.
Yeah, he's been friends with my local comic shop for as long as he has been drawing comics. Like, he was like, when from my understanding and the way that the story goes, and forgive me if I say it incorrectly, he went over to ask, my local comic shop owner about, like, what tricks that he could do to sort of like work on his art, if there were things that he could improve on. So we got a lot of like expertise. And he was just like, sit down and talk with my local shop owner about the business of comics, how they worked, what issues people were interested in, which I think is like a lot of how he got the business savvy that, I mean, he wouldn't be the president if he learned a lot of those lessons that my shop owner gave him back in the 80s. So.
Wow. Was this a free signing?
It was not. I paid $75 to get 5 or 6 items signed, I should say, because Jim let me get one more. one more item signed than a lot of the other folks. Don't tell it.
Okay.
If anybody listens to this, this definitely did not go in there. Definitely did not say. But yeah, I got a lot of stuff signed by Jim Lee, and
Okay.
I need to go find. I'm probably gonna go to Michael's tomorrow to see if I can frame my multiverse map.
Yeah.
On the
Make
wall.
sure you get non-glare glass.
Okay, will do. Oh, speaking of Jess, I found the cover. I found the foil
Oh,
cover.
okay. Let's see. I forget what we were
Uh,
talking about. This is the Cassandra Cain.
The Artgerm Cassandra Cain cover to the new Batgirl run. It's in foil, so I don't think I have the greatest
Yeah.
writing on it.
Okay, I can see. Yeah, I can make that out.
So yes,
That's cool. I haven't even seen that.
I do love me Artgerm. So
Yeah, same. Spooey says, Fox produced that Nick Fury movie and Disney owns Fox. I keep waiting for the day when Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Generation X show up on Disney Plus. I would love to see Gen X.
Me too.
Oh, and Remy got red.
Somebody today on Very Fine Conditions spent like $1,800 at a local comic shop as we were like giving up book recommendations to him. I think about like 18 Omnis or something like that.
Say this again. Today on VFC?
Today on VFC, in the morning, somebody asked me for comic book recommendations for Batman and Spider-Man. And I gave him all my recommendations, and he bought they bought, sorry, like I don't know their gender, but yeah, they bought $1,800 worth of books.
Wow. And who was on with you? I know Taylor was.
Yes, it was just me and Taylor, just talking to the folks, and yeah, that's a lot. I told him like, how do you like? I told Taylor like, you need a forklift for $1,800.
A lot of books. Wow.
I can't. Incomprehensible to me.
Yeah, the books Kurtis showed, I think, were all remarkable.
Oh yeah.
I'm glad I didn't bring anything to the table because I had no idea he was going to flash such great stuff. Thank you, Matt, for the nice comment. Appreciate you and your son, and I've got more on the way to your son. Okay, The Upside Down World of Gustav Verbeek from Fantagraphics. Good job, James. Thank you. It's also on the Bozo site. Okay, thank you. And yeah, I need to start these streams. I think I'm going to start them at 7:00 starting in May because it takes me too long to wind down at 11:00 at night for a reasonable night's sleep. So I think I'm going to start them. Give people fair warning that 7:00 will be the new Baturdays time.
Got to make the schedule change midstream.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen, now that Kurtis is left, which I want to say, first off, all you guys are awesome. And now we can talk about cheesecake. This has been a great Baturdays. Thank you. LOL, slightly less Batman discussed than usual. Yeah, that was... this was a really good episode. I appreciated both my guests a lot. They should leave Death and Return out of Triangle Years so they can fit more non-collected content. Yeah, I know 2 seems to double dip a bit. Yes, he has left the stream.
Unfortunately.
Just caught the tail end. Great to see y'all. Just got home from playing a musical.
What were you playing at?
Yeah. What are we talking about? That sounds interesting.
Tell us, Lego Mr. Qui-Gon.
Yeah. I know this is super early, but do you have, you know what? It's not too early to figure it out because you can't do it on the 27th. I love how he knows my schedule better than I do. Wait, the 27th. How do you already know that I had plans for the 27th? Wait a minute. Did I already say that?
Oh my gosh, James knows your
Well, you're right. I can't do it on the 27th. That's a Sunday. So and it would help. I could do it the 26th, Saturday. Maybe that'll take. Maybe that'll be the first 7 p.m. Baturdays. I'd do it that way. Yeah, it's actually not a bad idea to plan those out because both Webhead and Dom, have schedules, and I need to work around those schedules. So I'll start talking about that in the Discord chat. Loved Excalibur. Oh yeah, Strike Force.
I think that might be my favorite Marvel Teeny Howard series. I really, really enjoyed Strike Force.
Strike Force, yeah, it was just 2 trades, right?
Mm-hmm. It was like a 10-issue series. Wasn't too long, but I loved it.
Met Jim Lee, really nice guy.
Nicest guy, man. I mean, you want to talk about someone who loves joking around, but still manages to have really. I'm still shocked that he had a 5-minute conversation with me. Like, of all the people that he could just sit down and talk to, because everybody there was in and out real quick. Got to talk to me, and I was like, couldn't be more thankful.
Yeah, that's awesome. Dom got the signature for free. The 75 was to talk to Jim 4 minutes and 37 seconds about Divine Right. I don't know Divine Right. I remember Joker's daughter. She was called Harley Quinn, wasn't she? That Matters to Me from the Batman family. I think was that her name? Harley Quinn.
The Joker's daughter. That Duella Det's her name. The reason why I remember her is because she popped up in the Titans Tomorrow storyline in Jeff Johns' run of Teen Titans.
Oh, I haven't read that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they get sent. Yeah, their Titans get sent off into the future for some reason. They're like, wait, why are things not like this? And then you meet who Batman is. Like, oh, this is so different. But yeah.
Huh. Okay. Okay. Here's your basketball talk. Okay, it's in the sports channel in the Discord.
We're talking about one-time All-Star Mo Williams, man. Oh my goodness, I'm watching it right. Yeah, I remember this. I am old enough to remember this, Harvey.
Your haircut looks good though, Jess. Brian, I have not forgotten about you at all. I have you on my list, definitely. Looks like one of those investment bros already flipping them. Hush 256 for $40 on eBay.
That's so. But here's the thing, all the people who got, 300 of us, right, or about got all of those. It was part of the deal with the ticket was that you get the entire Hush storyline, but that the fact is, this issue had to be one of the things you had to get signed, or else you couldn't get anything else signed by Jim. You were literally denied admission if you didn't have the.
What is that? Is that the current run?
It's the current, it's the current Batman storyline coming out from DC right now. The second issue of this storyline came out last week or this week. I'm getting my dates mixed up because it's the weekend. But yeah, it was included in our ticket. But I also will be saying, somebody else will have the entirety of Hush 2 or half of Hush 2 because they're splitting it up into regular Batman issues. And then they're doing a spin-off series, like a 5-issue series right after.
Okay, say that again. Hush 2?
Hush 2, as what we have right now, is going to run from issues 158 to 163 of Batman. But Jim Lee also said that that issue 163 of Batman will then spin off into a different Batman series to finish off the Hush 2 storyline.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure I will. First of all, that was my first absolute Hush. I still like that story. I know other people bust on it, but I still like it. I don't care what you say. So I can see myself reading that and being okay with it. Batman 159, April 23rd. Hey, Brown Mist, how you doing? Now, this question is probably more for Dom. He would guess this. He would know this better. Which trade dress DC will use for their upcoming reprint of the Golden Age Superman Volume 1 Omnibus? Trade dress. You mean the bullet logo type thing? Or have they changed? Okay. I know what you're saying. Are they going to be going with is this what trade? This is the current trade dress.
About. I think that's the one they're gonna use because that's the one that DC uploaded on Lunar that has the DC Bullet logo. Now again, anything can change, but as of what is the most updated right now, it's just gonna be that design with the Bullet logo instead of the transparent timeless logo that they use for Rebirth.
Okay. Actually, I wouldn't mind getting Batman and Superman Golden Age Volume 1s. I sold those and I'm not happy now. I wish I had them still. So I'll get them when they get reprinted. Hush was Brian's first absolute too.
Oh.
Tell your mom thank you. I have lost weight, but I also got a very short haircut, as you can see. So I might be looking weird that way. Yeah, he did do a bunch of covers.
Doc Shaner did a handful of those as well.
Matt, I know Kurtis left, but you three guys are awesome. Always like hearing you all talk comics and all you really good guys to boot. Thank you. Thanks for the fun. Have a great night. And it has been over 3 hours, and peace and love, peace and love. Dom's got to go live his life, and I have to go try and get sleepy for bed. So Dom, they can find you at comicreleases.com. Oh, here it already is. Domavek's YouTube show and Comic Releases Patreon. Comic Releases Discord. They're coming so fast. Comic Releases Patreon.
I want to say real quick on the Patreon, I think we got like 100 paying members now for the Patreon, which is just absolutely insane for me to even think about. And I also want to thank you just for helping promote that, because we want to, I want people to know, obviously, when those books come out, but it means the world to me that you guys are using the resources, even if you don't manage to do the Patreon or the $2. Just going on the site and just checking out all the books date by day. It already means a lot to me that you're doing that. So I wanted to say thank you for promoting it. Thank you to everyone who's using it.
Yeah, thank you for having it. I know it's a good resource for lots of people. I don't have Pleasure Beach yet. I have Tedward, but I don't have Pleasure Beach. Maybe I should get it from Is it at Fantagraphics, where I'm going to be getting the upside down world of Gustav Verbeek? Here's my Discord. Thank you, James. Okay, good, Freddie. Thank you. And thanks for being here, Doug. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Thank you to my two great guests. I look forward to seeing them both again soon. Thank you to the chat. You guys were great all night. This was a lot of fun. And really appreciate everybody's staying throughout the whole show, dipping in and out, however you enjoyed it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Peace and love, and I will use the Baturdays theme song to play us out. Thanks again, Dom. Always appreciate having you.
You too. Thank you.
Peace and love.
Baturdays. 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 Omnidog in the miniature of comics. Talk forever, get right your ergonomics. Taking questions from the chat. With a name like that, you think they talk more about the fact. Baturdays. Baturdays.